in the right perspective.
When you sat out those 2 games home in Pensacola, did you ever think you'd be going for your 3rd rushing title?
I felt like everything was just going to work out my way. I just felt like I was going to catch somebody. And matter of fact, I remember telling my folks, I say, I don't care who's in front of me. It's going to be a whole bunch of people behind me when I get back. And right now I'm looking back over my shoulder, and I see a great deal of people behind me, but they're still chasing.
When the Cowboys and the Giants last met, the Cowboys dominated, dismantling the Giants and setting up a return engagement that will answer all the questions as to who is better and who is best. Are you starting to feel a certain bravado heading into the playoffs?
We're starting to get the swagger back. I think the last 2 or 3 weeks, especially the way we played against Washington.
Well, you talked about having the swagger back. Is this true? Do you identify with this guy?
Oh, they could have taken a better picture.
But your hair looks great.
And, yeah, it's a little bit hanging into my eyes, but...
Well, it says that you are brash and cocky and sometimes downright annoying.
They definitely know me.
It's been quite a busy week for Jimmy Johnson. In addition to preparing for football's Armageddon, he's also had to deal with rumors that he might be interested in jumping ship to Jacksonville. And a little while ago, I asked him about it.
People are making more out of it than what there is. And as I said at that time, I said, you're just in a philosophical type of thing. You know, you always have to look at your options. But, you know, I mean, I really have no plans on doing anything right now. And again, people made more out of it than what it really was.
Is there any set of circumstances, if you were to win another Super Bowl, if you were offered equity, that you might be, as you put it, intrigued?
I think, Leslie, we're always intrigued by all kinds of things.
Jerry Jones told me he completely dismisses the rumors that Johnson is under a 5-year guaranteed contract and that he has no intention of changing coaches. Said Jones, there aren't enough draft picks in all of Jacksonville to compensate for a Jimmy Johnson. Greg?
Leslie, thank you. When we come back, what everybody's been waiting for, the Terry Awards.
Players and the coaches, you know, for helping me win this award.
Next up, the Profile Encourage Award, or Mama Don't Raise Your Babies to Be Quarterback. Bobby Hebert's been mashed so often he thinks he's a chopper. Since all these players can take a licking and keep on ticking, I had to give the Terry to a coach, Bill Parcells. Rather than go for a field goal to force overtime, Parcells says, let's strap it up, boys, and go for the win. Patriots lost, but so what? I like a man who's got the guts to go for it. And under heat, Bill is one tuna who won't melt.
Tell Terry I'm very appreciative of the fact, but since there's a coincidence that he played with Pittsburgh, that if he ever coaches against me, tell him to make sure that he knows we'll go for it against him, too.
Bill, if I was a coach on any given Sunday, I'd beat you. Now, my Bargain Basement Award goes to all those unheralded players who make in a season what Troy Aikman throws around in a day as tip money. New England's Ben Coates is good and so underpaid that during a game, he's forced to look around for loose change. At the start of the season, Houston running back Gary Brown could not afford to buy a helmet. But the Bargain Basement Terry goes to Ron Moore, who has run for as many touchdowns as Emmitt Smith at a fraction of the salary.
Now that I won this Terry Bradshaw award, I'm a little afraid that the Cardinals might cut my salary.
Oh, that would be a very bad move, but not as bad as these. Wayne Fonts told 3 quarterbacks, you're my one and only quarterback. Above Wayne on my list are the Saints fans who cheered when their quarterback Wade Wilson got hurt. Now, the next worst move was mine. By a horrible, terrible mistake one day, you see, I brought in some really rancid ribs for the crew. I thought Greg and the gang would forgive me in time, but their court case comes up for hearing next week. But the #1 worst move of the year was pulled by Bill Belichick. It wasn't that he got rid of Bernie Kosar, but he didn't wait until Vinny Testaverde was healthy enough to take over. By picking Todd Philcox over Kosar, Belichick clinched the award. This was a man who was cranky even before the Terrys.
You guys are getting down pretty low now. I mean, this... We got anything else?
Jimmy, head with hair, long, beautiful hair, shining, gleaming, steaming, flaxen, waxen. Give me down the fair hair, shoulder.
Do you want to know the real reason reason our runner-up Eric Kramer never shows his head? He looks like that other Kramer on another network. But the winner is Steve McMichael, a man known semi-affectionately as Mungo.
Terry, thanks for the dubious honor. And I know if you had hair like this, baby, you'd have it down to your gluteus maximus, too.
Hey, don't call me that. Hey, get back over here. Hey, don't run away like that. I'm disappointed, but not as much as these guys. I had to invoke the tie-breaking formula to select an overall winner. Oops, I mean loser. But Jim Harbaugh gets the nod as my MDP, most disappointing player. But he's taking this, Terry, like a man.
Now's not the time to analyze what the problems are, or, you know, assess blame or anything like that.
Fair enough. Now the nominees for Best Defensive Player. And the Terry goes to?
Bradshaw, you better be glad you voted for me, because if you didn't vote for him, I was going to jump on you.
I better start jumping, Reggie, because I had to vote for your old teammate, Eric Allen. 4 interceptions for touchdowns. This Eagle can fly.
This year, 1993, I was the best defensive player in the league, and no one can take that away from you, playoffs or not.
For Offensive Player of the Year, it was hard for anyone to keep up with the Smith, Emmitt Smith. If the first 2 games are any indication, without him, the Cowboys would be 0-15.
The Terry Award, huh? Ooh, I guess I'm deeply honored.
Now, all winners receive a copy of Terry's outstanding recording achievement, and as you can imagine, the response to that has been so overwhelming.
No, I don't want it.
But the good news is, on the flip side, is Inagata Davida, so that's nice. We'll be back.
I can't believe there's still some of those available. As good as that.
You realize you're one of 100 applying for this job.
FC Central Championship and host the loser next week, and the Packers have beaten the Lions 3 straight times.
Packers with Thompson running the football has really set up play action. Sterling Sharp, today we will witness a historical day as he sets a record for 2 back-to-back 100-yard games.
And you might call it Coach's Day in Atlanta, where Joe Bugle's Cardinals take on Jerry Glanville's Falcons.
Both guys we like. Bugle we had for Coach of the Year. Glanville we like. Good for the media. Keep them both.
For most of you, those games are next. Terry and I will be back at halftime and throughout the afternoon with scores and highlights. We wish we had time for a few chords, but we don't.
Give me the hum
it's game time on the NFL Today.
Traditionally, the Super Bowl comes after the playoffs, but oftentimes tradition takes a backseat to reality. Today's victor will have the upper hand on the road to the championship. The loser's path will be far more difficult. So while some of us are still sorting out how to implement our New Year's resolutions, the Cowboys and the Giants are going to waste no time realizing theirs. They'll play their own Super Bowl this afternoon. Is here at Giant Stadium on just an absolutely perfect afternoon. In fact, it's almost too good to believe in January the weather would be this good as the Cowboys and the Giants square off in a game that means everything. The winner, Dallas or Giants, will be the champions of the NFC East. They get next week off. The loser has to play a wild card game next week. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. We hear so much about this Dallas team and how good they are. John, what exactly makes them so good?
Well, I think when you talk about pro football, you have to talk about the quarterback. Or when you talk about the quarterback, you talk about Troy Aikman. And you look what he's done. Here's a guy who just got a contract for $50 million, and he's probably worth it. He leads the league in completion percentage. Then you have that. That's the throwing part. Then you need the other part, the running part, and they have Emmitt Smith, who I think is the best running back in all of football. And I'll tell you, he's going to get the ball a lot early today, and he is really ready to go. But you know the thing that makes it all worthwhile and makes it all possible is this group right here, the offensive line. These are the guys. When you have the top quarterback and you have the top running game, this front line has to do the job.
That offensive line is big, and they are very good, too. What do the Giants then have to do to counteract all these offensive weapons?
Well, they're going to have to score some points, and that's what Dan Reeves was saying yesterday. He thinks that they're going to have to score 24 points. They have Rodney Hampton back. They're going to have to be able to run the ball, play pass, take some shots at the thing. But I think they're also going to have some big plays from their defense and their special teams.
The Cowboys have won the toss. Daloiso will kick it off. A loud crowd as Kevin Williams downs it in the end zone. I don't think I've ever heard this crowd as into it and as loud as they are today. Troy Aikman, the Cowboy quarterback. In front of him, that strong, big offensive line. Frank Cornish instead of Stepnoski. And those who handle the ball for Aikman, Novacek, Harper, Irvin, Darrell Johnston, and Emmitt Smith. 1st and 10 Dallas at their own 20. First series of the day. Smith. About 8. Stopped by Guyton. The Giant defense. They've been strong all year long. Fox, Dillard, and Hamilton, the front three. Brooks back as one of the inside linebackers with Bailey. Lawrence, Taylor, and Miller on the outside. The secondary is Raymond Jackson, Guyton, and Mark Collins. 2nd and 2. Emmitt Smith got 8 on the first carry. Flag on the play as Smith comes close to a first down. Stopped by Stacy Dillard.
Yeah, I was talking to Norm Turner, the offensive coordinator, just out in the hall before the game started, Pat, and he says that what they're going to have to do is loosen that Giant defense up and really start running Emmitt Smith a lot early in the game. So he said they're going to give him a heavy dose of number 22 early.
Offside, number 75, defense, lined up in the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Dan Reeves was talking about Emmitt Smith yesterday, said he never seems to get tired. He just keeps coming back and coming back.
You know, he's so strong, and you know, his legs are so strong, and he runs so strong, and he has everything a great running back has to have. I mean, he has the vision, and he has the cutting ability, and he has the strength and the toughness, and anything you want in a running back, Emmitt Smith is that guy.
Pro Bowler Darrell Johnston was the man in motion. Aikman. Pass complete to Novacek. The Cowboys plan to get him a lot more involved today, Novacek.
Well, you know, last year when they had a lot more 2 tight ends, Jay Novacek caught a lot more passes. You see, he only has 40 this year, but the guy who picked up that slack was Darrell Johnston. They've really been, in fact, Troy Aikman was saying last night that all year they've been mauling Jay Novacek. They just jump on him, grab him, do everything to him, but Johnston has been open more.
2 tight ends this time. Nate Newton jumped the count. Mark Tierney started backward, and then Newton jumped.
Ball start, number 71, offense. No snap, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Jimmy Johnson, the master motivator. 2nd and 9, make it.
I'll tell you, Jimmy Johnson knows what he wants and lets his players know exactly what he wants, and they're a top organization. I mean, they have a plan for everything.
Aikman to throw it. Outside to Darrell Johnston. Picked up about 4. The Giants converge quickly. Myron Guyton was the first man there, helped by Mark Collins. Phil Simms.
Yeah, that's probably the longest thing. You know, you come out, you get warmed up, you go in, you have the introductions, the crowd's all fired up. It's the biggest game of your season, and you have to stand over in that sideline waiting to get the ball, and you know you're playing against a team like the Cowboys that have so many weapons. You just hope you get a big 3rd down play on defense.
Aikman back quickly. inside to Smith. Not quite enough for the first down. Jesse Armstead was the nearest Giant defender. Smith indicating to the sideline they need about 6 inches.
And Jimmy Johnson has his biggest decision early in the game, and he's already made it, Pat. He's not going to take a chance here on 4th down. He's going to punt it.
John Jett in to kick for Dallas. Back deep, the dangerous Dave Meggett.
Giants only had 10 guys on the field. Now they have 11, so they're ready to go in their return.
Jett hasn't had to do a lot of punting. Gets it out. Meggett signals fair catch. And the Giants will take over at their own 24. No score. The Giants' first drive coming up. The Giants have the ball, led by Phil Simms at quarterback. An outstanding year for Phil. In front of him, it'll be Jumbo Elliott starting after problems with a bad back at left tackle. They need him. Roberts, Oates, Kratch, and Riesenberg, the rest of the offensive line. Rodney Hampton, who did not play in the first game against the Cowboys down at Texas Stadium. Jared Bunch, Callaway, Jackson, and Cross. Phil Simms. Been a very, very good year for Phil. Hampton. Slung down by Norton and Dixon Edwards. The front four for Dallas led in place of Haley. Maryland, Casillas, and Tolbert. Smith, Norton, and Edwards, the linebackers. And the secondary, Larry Brown and Kevin Smith, the cornerbacks. Everett and Woodson, the safety. 2nd and 7. Hampton got 3. Bob Kratch might have moved a little bit early.
Yeah, that's what you get in a big game.
Number 61. Offense.
And we saw the Cowboys.
2nd down.
We saw the Cowboys jump early on their first possession. Now the Giants. I mean, everyone gets fired up. You know, you want those offensive linemen. Okay, come on, guys. We got to pancake them. We got to go. We got to go. And then the first hard count they hear, and that's what Simms gave was a hard count. Here is hut, you know, and those guys, they're just ready to go. I mean, the first thing that can set them off is going to set them off, especially early in a big game like this.
2nd and 12. Meggett behind Simms this time. There, Pierce was the man in motion. Simms looking at Meggett, now looks the other way. Has his tight end, Aaron Pierce. Fumble. And I think the Giants got it back. It's going to be shaky.
From the signs, it looks like the
Dallas got it back.
You have an official without a cap pointing towards Dallas's way. Great read by Simms, though. He had Meggett to the left. He has Pierce to the right. You see him look to the left and then come back to Pierce. Now, in looking at Meggett, that took that safety out of there, and that led Aaron Pierce right down the middle, and he just got that ball stripped out of there. Meggett went for it, didn't get it, and the Cowboys came up with it.
Darren Woodson came up with it. And so Dallas takes over at about their own 40. Call it the 37.
That was a big play for the Giants. It turned out to be a big play for the Cowboys. One of the things that both teams talked about yesterday is, one, that on defense they have to get turnovers, and the other side, but on offense, we can't turn the ball over.
Cowboy 1st and 10 at the 38. And Aikman to throw it. He looked in the direction of Emmitt Smith. The flag on the play.
Usually when that guy throws it from that deep position, it's going to be against the tight end.
Number 54, defense.
Against Carlton Bailey.
Automatic 1st down.
See, that deep guy keys the tight end, and it's usually someone doing something to the tight end. And that's what Aikman was saying. He was saying, you know, last year it was a lot easier to get the ball to Jay Novacek. And of course, when you get a guy like Jay Novacek, who's a Pro Bowl tight end, you know that he's going to draw a crowd. He said they're just doing everything to him.
They grab him every play. Johnston on the move. And Aikman to throw it again. Michael Irvin. Irvin stays on his feet and gets to the Giant 40.5. Greg Jackson was the defender.
Yeah, you watch Aikman here, and again, a little play pass, and then look at this pass protection, the time that he has. And if he has time, this guy can get the ball in there anywhere. And the guy that he's going to look for most of the day is number 88, Michael Irvin.
Harper comes right this time. Irvin is left. They go in a hurry, and Emmitt Smith is tracked down from behind by Keith Hamilton.
I was talking to Jimmy Johnson before the game, Pat, and he says that in all the years that he's had Emmitt Smith, this is his 4th year, he said he's never seen him as excited in practice as he was this week. He said he's never seen him get ready for a game. He said, you know, that's not one of his strengths, is getting ready and practice and all that. He said, but he practiced harder this week for this game than he has in any other game in 4 years of Cowboys.
That's a pretty good tribute. 2nd and 9. Aikman outside to Darrell Johnston. Johnston bowling down to about the 32, stopped by Corey Miller.
Maybe Aikman is going to feature the Moose today. Now, here's a guy that has meant so much to this Cowboy team. You know, he's the big play that the Cowboys run to Emmitt Smith is that lead draw. And of course, the lead part of it is Darrell Johnston. And then he's the receiver part who has taken a lot of those balls that Jay Novacek used to get. In fact, he's made himself, you know, the blocker, the dink-off receiver all the way to the Pro Bowl.
I talked to him Tuesday. I've never seen anyone so excited about being chosen for the Pro Bowl. An honor indeed.
When they said I'd be wearing stripes, I figured pinstripes. But my now ex-agent says I have to wear this while I tell you about the delicious dinners here at TGI Fridays. Like steak on a stick, skewers of choice sirloin marinated in teriyaki sauce, or the herb grilled chicken, charbroiled with Italian herbs, or the baby back ribs smothered in apple butter barbecue sauce. Table for one? Very funny.
Fridays, Fridays, Fridays!
Right beer now.
That Dallas timeout means they have 2 left in the first half. 3rd and short. Aikman fell down, gives to Smith. Smith has the first down. He almost fell down. Myron Guyton made the stop.
Yeah, that's what makes Emmitt Smith Emmitt Smith. He almost always falls down, but doesn't fall down. You see, he's going to start here like it's going to go to the right, and then cut it all the way back in here. And there's no one that does this better than Emmitt Smith. See, he starts to the right. It's supposed to be up there in the middle. He feels something back here and then sees it, then makes that move. Almost falls, like I said, put his left hand down and still made the first down.
Aikman will throw it on first down. Gets it out to Darrell Johnston again. Johnston is down, lost it, and Darrell Johnston got it back. At the 21. Mark Collins cut him down.
Yeah, let's watch Lawrence Taylor, Pat, here, because one thing the Giants have to do is they're going to have to get some pressure on Troy Aikman. Now, one of the guys that if he's going to come up with a big day, if he still has a big day left in him, it has to be Lawrence Taylor. I think he has to get there, just disrupt him a little. You're not going to get a lot of sacks. Make him throw it when he doesn't want to. Don't let him step up, all those kinds of things.
That time, 3 of the Dallas blockers had a shot at Lawrence Taylor. They all took it. The last one, Emmitt Smith.
Lawrence Taylor does draw ground.
That's Emmitt Smith to about the 15. Stopped by Bailey.
Of course, Emmitt Smith is going for his 3rd consecutive rushing title today, so he'll know what he has, but Jerome Bettis of the Rams will also know what Emmitt Smith has, and Bettis and the Rams play later today. And Emmitt Smith wants his win, number 1. But number 2, he wants that 3rd consecutive rushing title.
1st and 10 at the 15. It's Smith again. Taken down by Myron Guyton, but he got 4 yards.
Yeah, the one thing with the Cowboys, you always have to block that backside because you never know where it's going to go. You see, here he is here. Here's the onside. So you block that, but then the other thing the Cowboys do is they block this side equally as well. Because even though the onside is to the right, look at how that backside blocks. And you see those blocks here? Those are the things that make the cutback possible.
2nd and 6. Galbraith in motion. It's Emmitt Smith again. This time he doesn't get much. Stacy Dillard as Smith got just across the 10.
Yeah, I always said, Pat, that the best friend of a quarterback is a good running back or a good running game. And now that the coaches call all the plays, I think the best friend of an offensive coordinator is a good running back, because when you don't know what to call, you always come somewhere where you have a blank. All you have to do is just give it to Emmitt Smith. Lead draw.
And, of course, when you have an offensive line like this, you have another weapon. Galbraith moves over to the right side. 3rd and 4. Flag on the play. Aikman gives to Novacek. At about the 5.
I think that was big Eric Williams, a right tackle that moved.
Ball start, number 79, offense.
That wasn't. I think he had to block on Lawrence Taylor. Watch, here's Lawrence Taylor here. Eric Williams is watching him, knowing that he has to block him. So he just takes a little rock there. You see, just starts to get back there. Lawrence Taylor sees him rock and is smart enough to know, if that guy rocks, I'm going to go, because they're going to call him for the rock.
That makes it 3rd and 9. Emmitt Smith has gotten short gains so far, but it's almost inevitable that before too long, he'll break one. Aikman back to throw it. Gets it to Novacek. Fumble. And it got out of bounds. The Giants had a shot at it. The Cowboys maintained possession.
You see Novacek gets by the linebacker right here, and then you see the hit and the fumble, and again, Armstead just can't hold on to the ball. He fumbles it. Now, he doesn't have control of it, so it goes out of bounds. Now, the last team that had control was the Cowboys, so, of course, they maintain control and get to try a field goal.
That ball doesn't look like it would be that hard to pick up.
Yeah, but football's the only one that doesn't roll.
From 32 yards, Murray puts the Cowboys ahead. 3-0. 4:37 left first quarter. .437 left. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The winner is the NFC Division Champion. The Eastern Division Champion, I should say. Onside kick. Handled by the Giants, by Jesse Armstead.
Big play by Jesse Armstead there, Pat. Jesse Armstead was the guy that didn't get the fumble before it got out of bounds. But watch this. This is a gutsy call here. The onside kick. That front 5, they always have to check the onside. Jesse Armstead didn't turn his back, didn't run back to block, but checked the onside kick first. It was a perfect kick right to him, and he handled it. I'll tell you, that's a big play.
Really?
Because a lot of young guys would turn and start to run backwards to block for the kickoff return. The first thing you have to do is check the onside kick, and he did.
Actually, a pretty good onside kick by Murray, left-footed. Here's Sims with time. Finally had to throw it away as he was hit by Leon Lett.
Well, he was trying to get deep to Chris Callaway, and again, this was one of those coverage sack type of things. It looks like Phil Simms got banged up a little there. When Leon Lett gets on you, that's going to hurt.
That's a load.
But he does have time here, Pat. This is a bootleg. You fake going one way, you come back the other way. He had good time. He's looking deep. Chris Callaway was deep down the middle, but he had good coverage, and he had to hold the ball just so long, and Leon Lett got there.
Hampton and punch behind Simms. Callaway is the man in motion, and Simms will throw it again. Through the hands of Mark Jackson.
But Phil Simms is thinking, what the heck does he have to do? He started, he hit Aaron Pierce on a beautiful play. Pierce catches the ball and then fumbles. Then he throws that one, a perfect pass there to Jackson, and he drops it. He thought he had Callaway. He didn't have time. Leon Lett got there. Phil Simms is doing his part.
He certainly has all year long.
Hey, he's an amazing guy. 15 years in this league, and still looks like he's been in it about 5 years.
And talks like that. Back to throw it again is Simms. Chased by Jeffcoat. Down by Jimmy Jones. But Jeffcoat made him duck.
Yeah, and that's on Jumbo Elliott. You're going to see Jeffcoat right here. Here's Elliott coming back here. Remember, he still has that bad back. But watch Jeffcoat starts to the outside. Then they had a double team on him. Aaron Pierce left him a little too soon, and Elliott didn't stay with him. One of those things, sometimes you have two guys on one, and they both relax a little too much. I think that happened on that play.
Horan back to punt. Kevin Williams will field it at the 11. Gets away from one, but a flag on the play. Kevin Williams gets out to about the 20-yard line. But a penalty marker down back where he first caught him. 40-yard punt by Horan.
Returned by Kevin Williams. Run on the rounds by Keppel.
Remember, it was after the Dallas game.
Illegal block. Number 51 on the return. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
It was after the last Dallas game that Dan Reeves got rid of Sean Landetta, and he brought in Mike Horan.
3-0, 3:43 left in the first quarter.
Five for the back.
Emmett Smith struggled outside the 10 to about the 12. Stopped by Brooks and Taylor. Troy Aikman, by the way, is 7 of 7 for 51 yards.
Yeah, and that's the amazing thing about Troy Aikman is he's so hot now and so efficient that brings confidence. I mean, I think that right now he believes that he can throw any time on any down distance to anyone and make a completion.
Here's Smith again. To about the 16. Lawrence Taylor on the stop.
Yeah, again, we talk about guys that are going to have a big game, have been in big games, have been the best that ever played, has to have a big game today. That's Lawrence Taylor. I mean, I think when you talk about who's the best linebacker that ever played this game, I think it's this guy right here. Now, he's not that right now, but you wonder, does he still have one more in him? And if he does, the Giants hope they get it today.
Aikman again fell down, and Smith comes out of the pack. Emmett Smith to about the 27. Right now for an NFL update, let's send you back to Greg Gumbel in our New York studios.
All right, Pat, at the Silverdome, the battle for the NFC Central. The Packers turn a turnover into a touchdown. Brett Favre screen to Edgar Bennett, 39 yards. He'll dive the final few. 7-0 Green Bay. Final minutes of the first quarter, Pat and John.
3-0 at Giants Stadium. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter with the clock running.
That's what a great running back does, Pat. I mean, they were backed up there, and then they just give it to Emmett Smith, and now they're out to the 27-yard line already.
Aikman to throw it. Irvin had it, and it was knocked away by Greg Jackson.
They're trying to find that seam in that double zone. See, Mark Collins is going to come up here, and he's going to make a bump, and he's going to force him to the inside. And then they're going to try and find that seam, that hole right between the corner, Collins at bump, and Jackson the safety. And I think what happened, I think Irvin went a little too far in because Jackson got there just when the ball did.
Irvin and Harper are split wide right this time. On 2nd and 10, they give to Emmett Smith. Emmett Smith hit down by Eric Howard.
You know, here's the thing that the two deep we're talking about. You see, you have these two corners. They come up and bump. Here, the two safeties play deep. This is what the Giants use. So on that play, Irvin was trying to come in and get in this hole here. He got a little too close to Jackson. But this is the thing that the Giants do better than anyone else. It's that loose, too deep zone, a loose umbrella, and that makes you go underneath.
That's been their base defense for years. Here's Aikman. Pocket. Aikman got the first down. It was against the Giants at Texas Stadium where Aikman got hurt on a scramble.
That was one of the things that Keith Hamilton talked about yesterday. He says we have to contain Troy Aikman. We can't give him lanes. Now, if you look right here, you're going to see where the lane is. You see right here, when they have the tackles to the inside, the ends to the outside, they gave him the lane. Now, Aikman isn't a big runner. I mean, it's not like you're playing against a Steve Young, but if you give him a lane, he has the talent, and he will take it.
1st and 10, Dallas. At the 40, Emmett Smith again. Behind the line of scrimmage, we thought he was down, and finally he is. Michael Brooks finally kept him down. He was hit first by Eric Howard. That's the end of the first quarter. With the score, Dallas 3, the Giants nothing. Sometimes that can come back to haunt you. Keep the ball all the time and only get 3 points.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that the time of possession is good if while you're possessing you score points. If you possess and don't score points, it doesn't do you any good.
2nd and 12. Aikman looking, gets it to Smith. Smith dragged down by Corey Miller.
There goes big Kevin Gogan going back into the game. You know, something happened to his hat, and they had to bring it over to the sideline. You don't see many guys miss plays because of their hat. But what happened is he broke the face mask on it. So they had to bring it back, and they had to screw the side of it back into the helmet, so he's protected. So poor old Gogan, he's there blocking on that lead draw, and he got his hat knocked off.
You don't see a lot of hats that big.
No, he has the biggest head on the Cowboy team. They call that thing the lunch bucket, his helmet.
Smith tried straight ahead. Nothing there.
Well, like Norv Turner says, he said they're going to get a heavy dose of Emmitt Smith early. This is the 14th time that Emmitt Smith has handled the ball, running and passing. But here, the Giants win this battle. They stuffed the line, they stuffed the linebackers, and there's Eric Howard making the play.
Howard and Fox.
I was going to say, Howard is playing as well right now, Pat, as probably has in 3 years.
Well, he's over. He had all kinds of back problems. Those have gone. And he's playing with a lot of enthusiasm. Jets kick high. Megan signals fair catch. Makes it. The Giants will take over at their own 16. 13:29 left in the first half. Those playoffs start next week. And we don't know where we'll be, but we'll be there.
Yeah, it's going to be the Sunday game, and it'll be a wild card game. And we do know one thing. The loser of this game plays at home against the Minnesota Vikings. We don't know when or where, but we know that's one of the games.
10 Giants at their own 17. Sims back to Hampton. Tripped up by Casillas.
And the Giants have to get some running game going. You know, they've only won. That's the second time they've run. They only had 3 yards. Of course, they haven't had the ball a lot, but if they're going to do anything, they have to be able to run the ball, and they have to break some tackles. You know, last week against the Cardinals, they couldn't run the ball, but they didn't break any tackles. And the first guy that was there would tackle them all the time.
Injured Cowboy down on the play is the defensive tackle, Russell Maryland. Dallas 3, the Giants nothing. Still in the second quarter. Pat Summerall, John Madden at Giants Stadium. The Cowboys leading 3-0 in the second quarter. Rodney Hampton, the deep back at 2nd and 9. That was Meggett in motion, and the reverse goes to Meggett. Norton on the stop. There's Russell Maryland, who was injured earlier.
There's Russell Maryland, Pat. They're checking his Achilles tendon, and I'll show you what happened. Here's Jumbo Elliott. Right here is Russell Maryland. He starts to ride in here. Jumbo Elliott clips him from behind. Now, this is really an illegal block. If we just look at it and click, see, he's engaged there. See him engaged there? Now watch right there. See, Jumbo Elliott comes right back and gets that right ankle or right Achilles tendon. That is tough.
3rd and 4, Sims back to throw. Standing around with time now, chased by Jeffcoat. Finally threw it away. Hit the yard line marker. Sims went down, chased by Jeffcoat and Casillas.
You know, this Dallas Cowboys secondary is doing a good job of coverage, because that time Phil Sims really had time there. And if you just look at the coverage that this secondary is doing, you see he's looking. We can stop it now. We can see that everything is covered. There's no one open. And he had to wait and wait and wait, because he did have good pass protection, but none of his receivers got open.
So Mike Horan is in to kick. Kevin Williams back deep for Dallas.
This is where he can use a good directional punt outside the numbers.
Williams going to let it bounce. It bounces sideways and is out of bounds. And Dallas will take over in pretty good shape, about their own 42. 3-0. Russell Maryland, problem with his right ankle, and they're in the process of retaping that right now.
Yeah, that's a tough one that he got there. You know, when you're playing one guy, he was playing Roberts, and then Jumbo Elliott come from behind and got him right down on that ankle. With all that, Jumbo Elliott, 310 pounds on one ankle joint, is kind of tough for a defensive tackle to take.
Fake is to Smith, and Aikman throws to an open Michael Irvin. Greg Jackson knocked him out of bounds. 22-yard pickup.
Now, here's where they could work it. You know, we talk about this double zone. We'll see this. We'll see the safety come over. Now, there's a hole right in here. And that's the area that Michael Irvin's going to go in. You see the rotation, but he didn't get a good bump. Now see, because you don't get a good bump, look at this big hole that you have here. Michael Irvin sees it. More importantly, Troy Aikman sees it.
Here's Emmitt Smith inside the Giant 35, a pickup of perhaps 3. Stopped again by Eric Howard.
Yeah, that's the thing that this Cowboy team can do to you. I mean, they can pound you and pound you and pound you with Emmitt Smith. Then you think he's going to stay inside. Then he bounces outside. Then they could throw the ball to him. Then they could throw it to Johnston and Novacek underneath. Then you always got Michael Irvin outside. And then if you say, okay, we got all that, they have Alvin Harper, whoever, every now and again, they'll just go deep to him on a bomber.
Aikman back to throw it again. Drops it out to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt Smith goes inside the Giant 30. Corey Miller and Carlton Bailey converge to bring him down.
And that's where they're so good. You know, we were just talking about that, where they pound Emmitt in there and they get that middle clogged up, so they can't get him in there. So instead of going away from Emmitt Smith, they say, okay, We can't get them in that middle. They're closing up that middle. Eric Howard's playing well in there. Brooks is coming up and so on. So now they just dump it to the outside to him and let him run around everything.
3rd and 4. Dallas is 3 out of 6 on these 3rd down conversions. And they'll go with 2 tight ends. And now Aikman decides whatever it is they want to go with, he doesn't like. So it's a Dallas timeout. They'll have 1 left in the first half. 3-0.
Gulf of Mexico, where world-class fishermen like Jim come to battle the big boys.
Jim, you got one.
Yeah, hey, this calls for a celebration. How about a cold O'Doul's?
Thanks.
Only 70 calories and non-alcohol, because out here, you never know what's biting.
When you want the refreshing taste of beer without all the alcohol, think O'Doul's. It's what beer drinkers drink when they're not drinking beer.
And the Aikman. And those people in Washington definitely believe in capital punishment. And even when things are going good, I remember there are still giants in New York. Do I think winning another Super Bowl is going to be easy? Get real.
Logo Athletic, authentic team apparel.
10:20 left to play in the first half at Giant Stadium.
Now you can tell that Jumbo Elliott is having trouble there with his back, Pat. I mean, just trying to sit down or sit up or whatever is making him cringe. You have to sit in the bench and hold on with both hands. It's tough.
Yeah, that's a bad sign. Being consoled by Bart Oates. Williams in the slot. Flag on the play. Aikman gets it to Emmitt Smith. Smith all the way down to about the 17. He was down. The ball came loose. Mark Collins up to hit him.
I think that's going to be good for a first down. I think the penalty is against the Giants. You know, I've always been against throwing short when you have 3rd down, against throwing short of the first down marker. But if you throw into Emmitt Smith, I think it's okay.
You got a pretty good chance of him getting whatever you need.
Yeah, because
number 75, defense, penalties decline, first down.
That's the second one on Keith Hamilton. Number 75 is here. The first one, they had him for lining up in the neutral zone. This time they have him for jumping offside. But that didn't look like 75 Hamilton. That looked like 74 Eric Howard.
I think
it looked like he got that on the snap count or the hard count.
Here's a handoff from Aikman to Smith. And he gets inside the 15 to about the 13. Stopped again by Eric Howard.
You wonder if everything in its simplest form offensively, and Jimmy Johnson's offense here is you start off and you're going to hand it to Emmitt Smith and throw it to Michael Irvin. And in the first half of this game, that has just about been the offense of the Dallas Cowboys.
There are a lot of decisions you don't have to make when you have those two. Especially when you have a guy like Aikman getting it to him. Fake is to Smith. Hamilton chases Aikman, incomplete. Urban perhaps was the nearest Cowboy receiver.
Yeah, good coverage by Corey Raymond. Watch Corey Raymond here. He's going to be man-to-man on Michael Irvin. Now that's who Aikman's trying to throw to. Now, Irvin, I don't know what kind of pattern he's running. Now, Corey Raymond does have a little grab of that jersey, but Aikman didn't look like he knew the ball was coming to him. And if he did know, he should have ran a better pattern than that.
Third down. Three wide receivers. Williams in the slot. Aikman back to throw. Over the middle to Emmitt Smith. He's going to be close to first. David Tate made the stop on Emmitt Smith.
You know, the other part of that equation is hand it to Emmitt, throw it to Michael. The other part is if you don't want to throw it to Michael, throw it to Emmitt. So you can either hand it to Emmett, throw it to Emmett, or throw it to Michael. And that's not bad as long as you got those big guys up front blocking for all that stuff, and they are doing that.
They're going to measure. About that much. Let's go ahead and go.
Yep, he's going. You see big John Giesick goes in there. He goes in at the right guard. Kevin Gogan, number 66, will go in at tight end. He becomes eligible. They're not going to throw it to Gogan. I don't even know if they're running to Emmett Smith here. I mean, this is the type of thing that Moose. No, I don't think they'll hand it to the Moose either. I think that either if they're going to hand it to someone, I think it would be Emmett Smith. But I would think with this type of thing, you just go quarterback sneak. Although they're staying in that huddle a long time. Usually if you stay in the huddle that long, it's a pass.
Smith is deep. First down, Dallas at the 5. Mark Collins on the bottom of the pile.
Again, you just see Emmett Smith, the deep guy, Darrell Johnston getting a good lead block there, and that's the soft spot. He went right in there at Michael Brooks. Johnston got it. That's why he's in the Pro Bowl. That's why Emmett Smith, or one of the reasons that Emmett Smith was a leading rusher in this league.
First and goal at the 5. Albert in motion. Nothing. Carlton Bailey. Stacy Dillard. Smith got nothing.
Well, you know, Dan Reeves is concerned here. I mean, he would love to see a field goal by the Cowboys here. His Giant team stop him and make him go for a field goal, because one of the things that he was worried about yesterday is getting behind early. He said down there in Dallas, that's what did him in. You know, when they got down 17-3, the Giants are not a good team playing uphill.
Second and goal at the 5. Aikman to throw it. Touchdown. Emmitt Smith.
I don't know how much money they paid Emmitt Smith. I know it's a lot of money, but he's earned it the first half of this game, Pat. He said, who's going to be a Giant beater? And so far, it's been Emmitt Smith. They've run it to him. He's running right, left, inside, outside. They've passed it to him. This guy has done everything a running back can do. Look, the blitz is on. They don't get a good coverage on Emmitt Smith. Troy Aikman makes a perfect throw.
Murray for the extra point. Novacek holding. Murray's kick is good, and Dallas leads 10-0. 7:26 left to play in the first half.
Your back works hard all day.
Watch this. Bailey is going to blitz here. Emmitt Smith comes inside and goes right in that hole where the linebacker blitzed from. See, there's the blitz. Emmitt Smith goes, boom, right there in that same spot, and he catches his first touchdown of the season.
There goes another ball for number 22 into his collection, into the trunk, and they'll lock it up.
I'll tell you, this whole first half, Pat, could be a collection for Emmitt Smith. You talk about a pro football player showing you what a pro football player is in the NFL. That's what Emmitt Smith is doing.
An all-pro football player.
Well, the best. I think that these kind of games, these big games, are what it's all about. I mean, you know, you go, you're going to, you'll get the playoffs, you're going to get the home field, you're playing for the division, you're playing for everything, and big players come up big in big games.
Murray's kickoff sails to make it 5 yards deep in the end zone, and he will not bring it out. Pro Bowl selections for the 1993 Cowboys: Aikman, Smith, Irvin, Novacek. Offensive lineman Williams, Newton, Mark Stepnoski, who will be operated on next Tuesday. Obviously, he won't play in the Pro Bowl. Maryland, Norton, Thomas Everett, and Darrell Johnston.
Yeah, now that's a representation. I mean, you get 11 guys I mean, that's like playing, that's what the Giants said, it's like playing an all-star game. You get 11 Pro Bowl players on the Cowboys.
Hampton hit by Lynn. Nothing there. There's Mark Stepnoski.
You know, he had a deal in his contract that if he was voted to the Pro Bowl, he would become a free agent at the end of this season. So he got that injury, and then he started worrying about whether he was going to be voted to the Pro Bowl or not. He injured that knee. He's out for the season, but he was voted to the Pro Bowl, so he will become a free agent.
Macias jump. Pass complete to Callaway.
I think that has to be against Casillas, and that's where the Giants needed.
Number 75, defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
You know, not a guy jumping off sides, but just a guy making a play, a guy making a catch. I mean, you know, Sims gets back. He had good pass protection. Callaway makes a good sharp cut out there. Sims hits him perfectly. The Giants don't need a lot of things going. They just got to start making some plays now, start getting some first downs, and get into a rhythm.
The handoff is to Hampton.
Get up in there.
Hampton is hit after about a 3-yard pickup. For another NFL update, let's go back to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Pat John at the Silverdome. Detroit pulled even on Eric Lynch's 5-yarder. All kinds of room off right tackle. It's a 7-7 tie at the Silverdome in the second quarter. Back to you.
At Giants Stadium, it's 10-0 Dallas. Hampton got 4 seconds, 6. Hampton got a bunch this time. Rodney Hampton out to about the 47, tripped up by Thomas Everett.
That's what the Giants need, just something to get them started. Sims hit that pass, and they got that good push to the left side. We saw the first run to the left side. Now we watch the second one. Trap play, boom, good trap by Roberts there. Hampton's right in behind it, runs right off the trap block.
Giant 1st and 10 at their own 48. Hampton behind Sims, and Hampton will carry again. Taken down by Tony Tolbert. Got a yard, maybe.
Yeah, someday, you know, you talk about great running backs. We know that Emmett Smith is, and a year ago, Rodney Hampton was a Pro Bowl player. And I've always felt that when a running back plays against another great running back, he wants to show his best, too. And I know that Emmett Smith so far has the upper hand. I mean, he's done everything that a running back has to do. And Rodney Hampton wants to show his stuff now. You know, I'll show you what a running back can do.
2nd and 9. Across the 50 to about the Dallas 48. Leon Lett tripped him up.
You know, we saw the one trap. Now we trap from the other side. This time it's going to be Cratch here. Cratch pulls this way. Hampton gets right in behind him, and you want to run right off that trap block. We saw Roberts do it to the right. Now we see Cratch pull. Boom, right there's a trap. Hampton right in behind him.
Good play by Leon Lett. The trap worked, but they didn't get Lett blocked. Here's Sims. Down by Tolbert. And Lett and Casillas. They all converge. And the Giants will have to punt.
And Sims is really upset there because he didn't have a chance. I mean, here's the first one. Tolbert is going to get the first pressure, and then once Sims sees that, he puts the ball down, and then the whole thing becomes a jailbreak. But see, Tolbert's the first guy right there. Tolbert was the guy that made him bring the ball down, and there was Leon Lett and Casillas.
Cowboys were coming after Horan. Has a good roll on the end of the kick. All the way down to the 10-yard line. Dallas still leading 10-0. It looked like the ball sort of slid off the side of the foot of Mike Horan, but he got a good bounce.
Maybe that's how you get directional kicking.
Yep.
You just slide the ball off your foot.
The Patriots beating Miami. The Dolphins having all kinds of problems, and New England playing better each week. Kansas City 24-3. The Cardinals playing well of late as Green Bay has taken a 10-7 lead over the Lions.
The Giants have good field position here defensively. They have to make a stand. They have to stop the Cowboys and make them punt here and get some good field position.
Emmitt Smith looking for room, cut down by Corey Raymond. Good tackle.
Yeah, but the secondary is making way too many tackles on Emmitt Smith. You know, how many tackles have the defensive line made on Emmitt Smith? They're not going to make a lot, but the linebackers have to make more tackles, because the more tackles the secondary makes means that the ball carrier is running farther and farther into the defense.
Those linebacker tackles are sort of the key to this Giant defense also.
And they haven't been doing it today, and they didn't do it last week against the Cardinals.
Second down. Smith again. He lunged upfield for about 3, stopped by Lawrence Taylor and Stacy Dillard.
You know, if you look here, Pat, so far Emmitt Smith has been tackled 5 times by the first guy that hit him, 5 by the second, 8 times it was the third guy, and 5 times it was 4 or more. So the first guy has only tackled him 5 times.
18 carries, 63 yards. They need 2. Jackson, and Smith is hurt.
Watch his hole. He's going to make a little counter move. You see, he follows Nate Newton. Nate gets a little block right there. Poor tackling right there. Great running. And I think at the end, Pat, I think he just falls on the football.
10-0. 2-minute warning.
This is the Eagle Vision TSI. With an 11-speaker spatial imaging sound system, solar control windshield, even driver and front passenger airbags. Eagle Vision is the result of asking people what they wanted in a sports sedan. That's why we also included a 24-valve, 214-horsepower engine, as well as anti-lock brakes. Those of you who asked...
Check. You remember he was hurt at the end of the last play.
And I think we're going to see as Greg Jackson tackles, and watch him go right there on the right shoulder. See right here, he puts his right arm down and then goes on the right shoulder, and that's what they're checking.
Smith has 19 carries, 109 yards now. Lincoln Coleman has replaced him. Aikman. There might be a penalty. I do see a flag finally at the 40.
Face mask foul, 5 yards on the defense. Still first down.
Hey, one thing, you lose an Emmitt Smith and everything goes. I mean, here they come. Keith Hamilton, he gets a penalty on that play, but the big thing was that he got by his guy, that he got into the backfield, that he got pressure on Troy Aikman, because that's really the first pressure the Giants have had on Troy Aikman. And it's ironic, it's the first play that Emmitt Smith isn't back there. Because when Emmitt Smith is there, you always have to worry about that run, so you just can't tee off on the quarterback.
The word on Emmitt Smith is that he does have a bruised right shoulder. Don't know if he'll be back. That's Lincoln Coleman, who replaced Emmitt Smith straight ahead.
Yeah, we got the answer right now, Pat. There's Emmitt Smith going back into the game, and look at the fans don't like that. The fans know what Emmitt Smith has done to him. Look, he has 151 yards already. So when they see him coming on the field, the fans kind of went, oh, no. I mean, it's just kind of, you know how the air goes out of you? Yeah. That type of thing when he came back out there.
Second
and one-man game.
Here's Aikman. Gets it out to Darrell Johnston. Johnston, a Dallas first down at about the 22. Tripped up by Corey Raymond.
Number 7 shows how big Daryl Johnston's gotten. You know, they call him the Moose, of course. That's his nickname, the Moose. He's a Pro Bowler now. But usually you just get your nickname called when you play at home. Daryl Johnston gets his nickname called when he plays on the road. That is big.
Smith behind Aikman, but Aikman will throw. Does to Novacek. Novacek down to about the 16. Stopped by Mark Collins and Michael Brooks.
It gets you with this Dallas Cowboy team. You know, you say, what do you stop? You know, you stop Emmitt Smith, they hit Novacek. You stop Novacek, they hit Irvin. You stop Irvin, they hit Harper. This offense drives coaches crazy.
And they've had the ball almost the entire first half. Here's Aikman throwing again. Johnston, incomplete. Stops the clock with 20 seconds left. Dallas with 1 timeout left. Don't forget to stay with us at the half. Greg and Terry will have all the scores and highlights and New Year's resolutions. Be careful. Dallas out of the huddle quickly. 3rd and 4, 20 seconds before halftime. 1 timeout left. Aikman, nowhere to go. Down he goes at the 20 with 14 seconds left to play in the first half.
And that's another coverage sack there, Pat. I think he was trying to get to Michael Irvin right here, and you'll see Irvin get down in there deep. And there's too many Giants on him. You see Irvin there, he got a double team right there. Jackson and Guyton both on him. That's who Aikman was looking for. And this is what happened. Now here's how Aikman sees it. See, he's looking down, he's looking for Irvin, looking for Irvin, looking for Irvin, waiting, getting up, no chance.
Emmitt Smith heading for the locker room. There's Russell Maryland, who was injured his ankle earlier, waiting in the tunnel. Dallas uses their last timeout. They lead 10-0. 3 seconds to go, and Murray's in the game.
Owens Corning presents an exciting debut, Pink Plus, a new insulation that's silky to the touch. The reason? Pink Plus is our famous pink fiberglass insulation wrapped in smooth pink poly, which also makes it extra easy to install. So get in touch with a premier.
That's a long-time Giant fan. Always good to see her in the crowd. .38-yard field goal effort coming up by Eddie Murray. Novacek holding. It's good. The kick is plenty long enough. And straight down the middle. That is the end of the first half with the score. The Cowboys 13, the Giants nothing.
CBS Sports coverage of the
Dave Meggett and Chris Calloway back deep. Line drive kick by Murray. Handled by Meggett at about the 15. And he gets outside the 30, about the 32, where the Giants will take over.
You know, one good news for the Giant fans here, and you know, bad news for the Cowboy fans anywhere, is that I don't see Emmitt Smith out on the field. You know, he hurt his shoulder just before halftime. Went in just before the field goal was kicked. We got word that they wanted to look at it. They thought it was a shoulder bruise, but he's still in the locker room.
They x-rayed Russell Maryland at the half. Leon left. Defensive tackle. Howard Cross made the reception from Sims. That's his 3rd completion of the day. And he gets about 9, maybe a little bit more.
And the Giants just have to come out and get a new start here. Remember, early in the game, they hit that one to Aaron Pierce, and then he fumbled the ball, and I think that took all the air out of him. and then they caused a fumble, and they didn't get it. They had a couple opportunities in the first half. They lost them, and then they never got back. So maybe the second half they got to start over the way they started to start in the first half.
They need about a foot for a first down. Word from the Cowboys is that they're trying to put extra padding in Emmitt Smith's shoulder pads, and he's going to try to go. And the same thing is true of Russell Maryland. They're putting extra padding on his ankle, and he'll give it a go in a moment.
You know, one of the problems the Giants have had, they've had a lot of problems offensively, but one is not gaining much yardage on first down. In fact, that play was the first time that they gained over 4 yards on first down in this game.
They need about a half yard for a first down. Rodney Hampton is the deep back. He will get the first down. Up to the 45, stopped by Casillas and Lett.
This is what you want to do. You want to get right in behind Roberts and right in behind Jumbo here in the running game. That's where he goes. You need a first down. They start the double on Lett. That was the soft spot that Rodney Hampton ran right into. You see, if you know where your double team is, then that's where you're going to expect to get the soft spot. And that's where Hampton got it.
Cowboys 13, Giants nothing. First and 10, the Giants. And Sims will throw it on first down. Gets it outside in the direction of Aaron Pierce, incomplete. Second and long, and that's the situation they don't want to be in coming up.
And they're trying to get into mixture. They're trying, to get out of that thing where you run on first down all the time. So they're trying to go some passing on first down, but those short passes that get you 5 or 6 yards. I'll tell you one thing, the Giant offensive line so far has not done a good job. They haven't done a good job of run blocking, nor have they done a good job of pass protecting.
Aaron Pierce is the man moving. Seems to throw it. Gets it to Hampton at midfield. And that lunge takes him across midfield into Dallas territory, stopped by Norton.
Now the Giants come in with their third down offense. You can see Dave Meggett comes in. This is where they use McCaffrey, 3 wide receivers. Derek Brown is the fourth. He becomes the tight end in there. Of course, the guy they like to go to in this situation is Dave Meggett.
And he's lined up to Sims' right.
Sims is showing him who to block if they blitz.
Meggett comes out of the backfield. That's almost picked off by Gant. Here comes Emmitt Smith with that extra padding in place inside his shoulder pads.
Yeah, again, it was his right shoulder. And, you don't know if he's ready to play yet. I think the thing that tells you he's not is that his belt buckle's not buckled yet. I think the hat, you don't wear the hat that way, and you tighten up that belt buckle.
Punt is partially blocked. Williams hits it, and the Giants get it back. Kevin Williams trying to take it on the hop and lost it. And the Giants get a break.
And everyone's going to remember the Leon Lett play. They're going to say Thanksgiving Day. You don't have to do that. If the ball's flopping around on the ground, get away from it. Every special teams coach will tell you that. Again, you get the block. Here, it becomes a deflection. It's knocked off there. Usually, if you can't feel it, if it's bouncing around like that, you just want to get away from it. I think Kevin Williams thought it was taking a pretty good hop and hopped right to him. But I'll tell you, that is a dangerous, dangerous thing when there's all those blue jerseys around.
Jesse Armstead was shaken up on the play. Looks like a problem with his left leg. Kevin Williams, as you said, John, it looked as if it was going to take a good hop, and he tried to field it.
Watch him. He comes from the outside. They have the end split. Brock Marion comes in, flattens out as Mike Horan punts it. Boom, he hits it and knocks it to the sideways. Now, Kevin Williams is coming up. Looks like he was going to get away from it. Then he saw the bounce, tried to get it, and made a bad decision.
Hampton on first down to about the 32. Stopped by Norton.
And the Giants have to take control of this game, and if they're going to take control of it, I think Rodney Hampton has to be a big part of it, and the other big part of it has to be this offensive line. And they're doing that right here. Pierce is getting a block. He gets a block on Haley. That gives him the soft corner. Larry Brown misses a tackle, and they're able to get about 8 yards.
2nd and 2. Hampton again. Spins and got about 1. Darren Woodson made the stop. That's Jesse Armstead. Excuse me, John.
I was just going to say that was a big turnover for the Giants, as we see him working on Jesse's Armstead's left ankle there. Because this is the deepest penetration that the Giants have had today.
It's been a frustrating day so far for Phil Simms. 3rd and 1. Might just take a shot here. Rodney Hampton over 1,000 yards for the 3rd straight year. More. Hampton gets the first down.
Looks like Rodney Hampton said it had. I've had enough of that Emmitt Smith stuff. I'm going to show you some, because I didn't feel that he was running hard last week. I didn't feel that he was running hard in the first half of this game, but on this play here, he ran hard. I mean, watch this. When he hits that linebacker, Darren Smith, and knocks him backward. Watch Smith come off a block. Now watch the contact there. Smith goes backward.
First down, Giants at the Dallas 27. Hampton, as Simms faked to him. Simms throws. Incomplete. Almost intercepted.
I don't know why Phil Simms didn't throw it to Howard Cross. Howard Cross, and he's telling Phil Simms right now, he's going to go tell him Howard Cross was wide open. It was a bootleg. Howard Cross was out on the right side. Now, here's Cross right here. Here's Simms, and I can see it's probably because of the defender there that he can't see him. See, and then that made him scramble, and not only scramble, but look to the other side and throw it where there were no blue jerseys.
That was Tony Tolbert right in Simms' face, and you're right. That's probably why he didn't throw it. 2nd and 10. By Callaway.
Hey, fuck!
He zipped that ball in there. Well, one thing, if you give Phil Simms protection, he's going to find some stuff. See, Callaway, he's the guy in motion right there. And now the outside guy comes to the inside. Callaway goes to the outside, and Phil Simms hits him.
Woodson, the defender.
The only thing is, these receivers somewhere, Pat, are going to have to break a tackle and make a play after they catch the ball.
Well, the guy that can make things happen is to Simms' right. That's Megan. On 3rd down. Megan stays in. Pass is caught by McCaffrey. And a Giant first down.
This is the guy. McCaffrey here, that's the guy that he's going to look for on 3rd down. Ed McCaffrey is a big wide receiver, possession type guy. He just runs a little out. Now where he did is by coming back. He gave Simms something to throw to. But again, we talk about protection. Dave Meggett stays in to help. That's where it all starts. That was good pass protection for Simms.
On first down, it's Hampton spinning and hit by Godfrey Miles.
I'll tell you, they're hitting down there now. I mean, this is good hitting weather. You know, we talk about, that first half, you're kind of positioning stuff. You come out in this second half, and there's a certain finality about it. I mean, you get all those speeches, one more half of the season, men. We got to get it done. Hey, these guys are going after each other now.
The applause you hear is for Rodney Hampton. They've just announced on the scoreboard that he has just rushed for over 1,000 yards. The 3rd consecutive year. That's a Giant record. 2nd down. To Cowboys. Knocked down by Brown at about the 5.
Again, they have to make a play. They have to break one of these things. And you see Phil Simms. He has good protection. He's looking out there. Again, he throws that perfect pass to Callaway. See, if Callaway could have kept his balance there and broke back in, he's trying to get that end zone. But if he could have kept that right foot there and planted and bounced it back into the end zone, that's what the Giants needed.
It's 1st and goal at the 5.
as they were saying, you know, as all the Giants were saying yesterday, when we get down there, when we get down in this range, we need touchdowns, not field goals. Field goals won't do it against the Cowboys.
And the Giants have taken a timeout. Bill Sims over talking to Dan Reed. Cowboys leading the Giants, but the Giants have it 1st and goal at the Dallas 5. They've just taken a timeout, so they have 2 left in the second half.
Well, the Giants came out with a different determination here in this half. I mean, they've gotten, of course, they've had the ball more, they've had the ball longer, so you have time to do things, but this offense is a lot more aggressive now than they were in the first half.
Hampton and Bunch behind Sims. Sims put his head to his helmet, and that could mean something. It means someone throw it back to Hampton. Hampton's going to get knocked out of bounds after about 2 yards, 2.5.
Right here.
Dan Reeves there, one of the few head coaches that calls his own offensive plays. He has that sheet there. He's getting his goal line people in there. Remember last week they did have a run pass, and Rodney Hampton could take it and run and then throw the ball in this situation.
2nd and goal at the 2. Spins over the top. He's close. But no signal. No touchdown.
And this is a trap. They're going to try and go right up the middle. You see they're bringing Pierce along to trap, and Hampton just left everything and just went in the middle, tried to dive over. There was nothing there. This isn't a bad play for a play fake.
3rd and goal at the 1. Try the extra point.
They were looking for Hampton. They handed it to Jared Bunch right behind Oates and William Roberts here. The Cowboys had that middle loaded up, and the Giants went right at it. They went right to the teeth of the defense.
David Treadwell hits the extra point, and that's 13-7. Dallas leading by 6 with 7:42 left to play in the 3rd quarter.
Jared Bunch right here. Here's the hole they want to run to. Here's Robert Jones here. Watch the block that Bart Oates, the center, gets on Jones, number 55. Right there, boom! He knocks him back out of the end zone, and that's what got Jared Bunch the touchdown. Now, that's what a guy like Bart Oates does, 9 years. Not the biggest guy, not the strongest guy, but you need a block in the goal line. You know how to get away. He knew how to find 55, who was standing right in the hole, and then put him in the end zone.
Daloiso set to kick it off. The ball is blown off the tee one time, but this time he nails it. Out of the end zone, almost into the stands. Right now, let's send you down to Leslie Visser.
Is ready to go back into the game. According to the team doctor, Dr. Robert Vandermeer, he has sprained his right shoulder. It's the AC joint, which is between the collarbone and the shoulder blade. Dr. Vandermeer said it needs ice and rest, but he'll have to get that after the game. Pat.
And Emmitt Smith is in the game. 19 carries, 109 yards. He bruised his shoulder on his longest run. And now he's back. Smith gets his first carry in the second half and gets good yardage, and then Smith swung out of bounds. Picks up a Dallas first down, a gain of 12. Greg Jackson threw him out of bounds.
Okay, there was a heck of a block by Eric Williams. He's a big right tackle who's going to be in the Pro Bowl. Here he is here. Watch him block Lawrence Taylor, and then the ball is going to come around that end. Taylor has position. Williams gets position. Takes him back enough that Emmitt Smith can get around that corner.
Doesn't take much of a block for Emmitt. Healthy or otherwise, he gets another carry. Smith hammered. After a pickup of about 5, he's holding his arm.
Yeah, you talk about guys getting paid a lot of money to play and overpaid, underpaid, or whatever. But this guy can do it all. I mean, he can run, he can block. You look what he's done today, 7 times to the left, 10 in the middle, 4 to the right. But this guy is also a tough guy.
He's been replaced by Lincoln Coleman for the moment. 2nd and 5. Fake is to Coleman. Throws it to Coleman. He might have gotten a yard. Stopped by Miller and Bailey.
It's a little different when Emmitt Smith isn't in there. You know, the umpire, Pat, is the guy that lines up behind the defensive line. And Troy Aikman threw that one right at the umpire. Here's the umpire right here. The back, Coleman comes out and gets right in front of the umpire, and the umpire has to dodge the ball. Watch Coleman coming here, and now he's going to come back there, and he just ducked right in time, or he would have caught one in the ear.
He almost ducked into it. 3rd down. Aikman to throw it. Batted away. He was looking at Darrell Johnson. Keith Hamilton got a hand up.
Keith Hamilton was saying yesterday that he takes responsibilities for slant. If there's going to be a slant to his side, he wants to get in the lane to take away the slant. The slant passes the outside receiver coming to the inside. So you see him coming, you get a push on the guy who's blocking you, then you get your hands up. And that hand up takes away the slant lane of the quarterback.
John Jett back to punt for Dallas. Not a good kick. Meggett's going to let it bounce. The Cowboys down it. The Giants will take over at their own 31. 5:34 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Only a 29-yard punt by Jett, but there's a flag on the play. Penalty marker down back at the line of scrimmage.
And I think it's against the Cowboys. I think with that punt, it was only 29 yards. I think the Giants will turn this one down. They want the ball there.
An eligible receiver downfield on the kick, number 58, kicking team. Penalties declined. 1st down.
1st down for the Giants at their own 32-yard line, Macon. Dallas by 6.
One of the things.
Back at Giants Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The Cowboys 13, the Giants 7. 5.5 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter.
I think Lawrence Taylor was explaining to Earl Leggett how Eric Williams got into him and how Emmitt Smith got around him on that play. Lawrence was probably saying, hey, there should be someone outside me, and Earl was probably saying you shouldn't let that big tackle hook you.
To Hampton. Hampton moves a pile of Cowboys up to about the 38.
Hey, I don't know what happened at halftime. I don't know about talks or anything, but I'll tell you one thing. He's taking it in there a lot harder and a lot tougher this half than he did the 1st half. And that blocking is a lot better by the offensive line. And again, sometimes you have to add the fullback to that. I mean, that was Jared Bunch there. You know, you get the line and the fullback like you do with the Cowboys. The line and the fullback control the 1st half for them.
2nd and 6. Hampton fumble. No, that's his helmet. I thought it was a ball loose.
No, that's the good news when you can pick up the helmet and the head's not in there.
Jared Bunch's helmet.
They are hitting. I mean, this 2nd half, this is a different half than the 1st half. I mean, watch Roberts pull. Again, it's that trap. He gets right in there behind Roberts and just drives and drives and drives. There was Jared Bunch's helmet that came flying out of there.
There's Emmitt Smith behind Mark Tooney. They're going to measure this for a first down. And the Giants have it.
I'll tell you one thing. I mean, this second half, this Giant team is much, much more aggressive than they were in the first half. And, you know, there's no rule that just says that the only guys that can be aggressive are defensive guys and special teams guys. Offensive guys can be aggressive, too. And the Giants are showing it this second half.
First and 10 Giants at their own 42. Sam. Away. Another first down. All the way to the Cowboy 45. Kevin Smith in the wrestling match with Callaway.
There's Chris Callaway to the outside. And again, you're going to see him now. This is what they have to do. After they catch passes, they have to think of running with the ball, get up the field, make first downs, make touchdowns, make them, you know, miss tackles, do those things. Don't just sit there and get tackled.
Make some plays.
Remember the last time down in Dallas, Callaway broke away. He was way in the open field. He turned back and waited for the tacklers to come and get him. He still doesn't know what he did on that play or why he did on that play.
First and 10, Giants. This is Hampton. Hampton at the line of scrimmage, maybe lunged for a yard. For another NFL update, let's send you back to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Pat, and we'll take it to the Silverdome in Pontiac. Edgar Bennett, 2 yards. Watch the right side of the Packer line. Into the end zone. The Packers regain the lead, 17-13, third quarter, Pat.
Dallas leading 13-7 at Giant Stadium. That's a big game. Detroit, Green Bay. This is a big game. The Giants, Dallas. The winner of this game gets a week off. Second and 10. Sims is hit. Ball bounced out of bounds. Jim Jeffcoat hit Phil Sims just as he loaded.
Jim Jeffcoat comes from this backside. I don't think Phil Sims, obviously he doesn't see him. He doesn't even feel him. I mean, he hit him right between the ones. Watch this now. Is his arm going forward? If his arm is going forward, it's an incomplete pass, and his arm was going forward.
Eventually, he did feel him.
But Jim Jeffcoat took an inside move on Jumbo Elliott, beat him to the inside, and put his helmet right in Phil Sims's back just as he was throwing the ball.
The discussion here.
The pass was moved backward.
It was a lateral.
Out of bounds. It's third down at the out of bounds spot.
Pass ruled backwards, making it a lateral. Let's see.
But they're saying Jeffcoat is coming from behind, and yeah, the ball is a lateral.
Yep.
See, it didn't go forward. The ball went backwards. So now it's the last one that has control of it. That was Phil Sims because the ball went out of bounds. So the Giants get the ball again where the ball went out of bounds.
So that makes it 3rd and 13.
Jim Jeffcoat hit him so hard he made a lateral out of the forward pass.
Megan in motion. And Sims. This is planned. This stroll to the left. And Sims going deep has Howard Cross. Cross has it. Rodney Hampton. Sorry. I saw the 7. It's Hampton.
What a play that was. It's the old throwback. It's the roll left. They had Dave Megan block. They have Dave Megan come out and block. Watch it. Megan is going to come and block here. Sims is going to roll to this side. Hampton gets down to this side. Watch as it come out here. Here's Megan. Boom, right there. You see the double team there? He makes the block to let Sims get out. Now Sims gets out. Then look at this backside there where Hampton's going. He's wide open. The old roll left, throw back to the halfback. But Dave Meggett made that block on Jim Jeffcoat.
Charles Haley in the game to try to put pressure on Sims, who had a man open in the end zone. It was Mark Jackson and Sims a little too far.
I'll tell you, they're going after him now. You know, Dan Reeves, one thing, he always has gadget plays in there. and that was one of them. Dave Megan is a slot, comes in motion, double teams a defensive end. Phil Simms sprints or rolls out to the left, throws back to Rodney Hampton way across the field to the right. That's what you call a gadget.
A gadget that worked.
Lawrence Taylor saying, let me have one more big game.
2nd and 10. Simms. This is Howard Cross. At about the 12.
Howard Cross is starting to be more of a pass receiver on this Giant team, and Dan Reeves said next year he's going to be even more of a pass receiver. Here he is on the left side of the screen, just working against the zone. He just goes up, does a little out. Just as he makes that out move, Phil Simms hits him. But again, the offensive line, Pat, of the Giants have taken control this second half.
3rd and 3 at the 12. Jackson in motion, and Simms to throw. Does throw to Megan. Jackson, who never saw it coming. Jackson never looked back, and the ball was there.
Phil Simms had to throw it at that time. Watch Simms, it's going to be a slant. He's looking at Jackson. He throws it. It's thrown perfectly. It just looked like it hit him right in the shoulder pad.
He just didn't pick it up coming at him. Treadwell will try for the field goal. He's 23 out of 29. Is good. And with 1 minute and 20 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter, Dallas lead is 3.
Jackson here on that last 3rd down pass. And it looks like a perfect pass by Simms. Jackson just wasn't ready for it. Just dropped the ball. It looked like he spun, and by the time he caught it, his eyes caught it, he wasn't ready to catch it.
Daloiso has the ball blow off the tee. He's back up to place it again. The last kickoff by Daloiso almost went into the stands behind the end zone.
That reminded me of one of John Daly's drives. In fact, that's what Dan Reeves says, that Brad Daloiso kicks a ball off the way John Daly hits a driver. John Daly never has to have anyone hold the ball, though, when he hits a driver.
No.
The last time Daloiso kicked off, it went 79 yards.
This one is deep as well. Over and out of the end zone again. Let's check on Emmitt Smith now, when the Cowboys come back, and Emmitt Smith is coming back. 13-10, Dallas leading.
I think they probably just have someone who's going to keep an eye on Emmitt Smith. I think if Emmitt Smith is the type of guy, if you ask him, how are you, he's going to say, I'm okay. Does it hurt? No, it doesn't hurt. Can you go? Yeah, I can go. And because he is that kind of guy, someone else has to watch out for him.
I want to be in the
go. You got to get him out.
I want to be in the game. He's going to tell you every time. Aikman. Novichik. Couple of yards. That's all. Corey Raymond. Good defensive play by the Giants.
Yeah, there comes like 3 points. I think one is you have a healthy Emmitt Smith, and then you got to worry about him. You have an Emmitt Smith who's not healthy. He can be a decoy. You still have to worry about him because you don't know if he's going to come alive. Then if you get to a point where you know he can't do it anymore, then he can become a detriment to your team. I think they're at the 2nd level right now.
The handoff is to Emmitt Smith. He gets outside the 25 to about the 27 before he's tripped up by Michael Brooks. One more play, perhaps, in the 3rd quarter.
You haven't heard Michael Brooks' name a lot. You know, he's the inside linebacker. Has really been the defensive leader of this Giant team this year. Been injured, just coming off a foot injury, but one thing he can do is attack the line of scrimmage, and it's tough to run inside when he's there.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Cowboys 13, the Giants 10. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. The Giants have been pretty well in control of the second half. As you look at Russell Maryland, obviously he won't be back in the contest. Sprained his ankle. That's all the information we've been able to get. But he will not be back.
You know, these fans here at the Meadowlands, they understand defense. They've known Giants for years and Giant defense. And look at them get excited now when that Giant defense is out there.
On third down, Emmitt Smith will have it. Emmitt's hurting. You can tell that, but he's still very effective.
Yeah, he doesn't have the upper body. He's having a tough time playing with his upper body because of that shoulder injury, but he still has that power down below. I mean, this is a guy that can make moves and do all things, but it all starts here. You talk about power. Watch this guy. Watch big Kevin Gogan. They start off on a double team. He just knocks this guy in his back.
Intended for Irvin. The only thing you can say about that is it was not thrown very well.
But how about that block of Gogan?
Oh,
I mean, that's, you know, when you get a guard, when you get two guards, I mean, that's one thing about the Cowboys. They have big old guards, Nate Newton on one side, Gogan on the other side. They weigh about 330, 340 pounds. And then you put those big tackles like Eric Williams, they weigh, you know, he weighs about 330 pounds. And hey, it's tough to go around him, and you know darn well you can't go through him.
Second down. Aikman by Keith Hamilton.
And that's where Emmitt Smith hurt him. Pat, we were talking about a guy can help you, a guy can be a decoy, but they expected him to block. Watch Emmitt Smith here. They expect to block out there, and it's just too tough. I mean, they ought to switch and let the fullback do it. You see, he's trying to block right there on Hamilton. He couldn't do it, and Hamilton came up with a sack.
So it brings up a third down at 16. 13:58 left to play. Aikman to throw it. Flag on the play. The pass is incomplete. He was juggling as he went down, Kevin Williams, but there's a penalty marker down.
You know, and Michael Irvin is in there doing the talking. I don't think he's caught a ball in this second half.
Illegal contact foul on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Automatic first down is the key.
You see the throw out here, and we say that they had contact, I guess, before the ball got there. That part of it looked okay. I mean, I think the guy has to be able to go for the ball if that's what they call.
What didn't look okay was those two Dallas receivers so close together like that.
Yeah, anytime you see two receivers that close together, there's a mistake in the pass pattern, but I'm not sure exactly who they called that on because they didn't say, but that looked like a pretty clean end to the play.
On first down, it's Emmitt Smith who broke one tackle, chased it, he gets out of bounds at the 40. You know, someone was talking to us the other day, John, about the fact that Emmitt Smith uses his right arm more effectively than any runner they've ever seen. And that's a big handicap to him not to be able to do that.
Yeah, that off arm. You know, he puts the ball in one hand like he carries the ball in his left hand. Then he uses that right arm, that right hand, just to knock tacklers off better than anyone. But, you know, you think of him, he's short, but he is so darn strong. I mean, in his upper body and his lower body, I mean, he is a strong, powerful man.
Aikman is hit by Taylor. Also there, Mike Fox. That's the fourth sack by the Giants.
Watch Taylor here. He doesn't always come to the outside. He also likes to stunt. Watch him. Fox starts to the outside. Taylor starts to the outside. He just runs right over Mark Tuinei. I'll tell you, that is power. You know, you think he may not be as quick as he used to. He may not be as strong as he used to. But on that play, he just took Mark Tuinei and put him right in the backfield and got the sack.
3rd and 12 and a Dallas timeout.
We can offer you this kind of salary, Tim, because our law firm is so successful. There is also the country club membership, access to the corporate condo in Barbados. Plus, you can have your choice of any color Hyundai you want. Well, Tim, we would never have gotten so successful if we hadn't also been so sensible.
As a fireman and a father, you're kind of a battery expert. You use a lot of them, right?
Yep.
Any theories as to why Duracell batteries last so long?
They take energy from little kids and they put it into their batteries.
Don't you wish?
Duracell. No other battery lasts longer.
How does the owner of Little Caesars think up his next great pizza idea?
That's it. Pizza for $1.
Pizza for $1. When you buy 2 pizzas with 2 toppings for $8.98.
Pizza.
Plus a third.
Pizza for $1.
Classic television. Hogan's Heroes.
Green Acres.
Arnold Ziffer. Who played him? Nobody. He was the pig. Remember Family Affair?
Mr. French. I loved him. He's attractive.
Pete, Link, Julie. Okay, Ginger or Mary Ann?
Ginger was a bimbo.
Mary Ann. Mary Ann or Jeannie?
Beechwood aged Budweiser.
Jeannie.
Crisp, clean, classic.
This game summary is sponsored by Budweiser.
Dallas at one time led 13-0. Now it's 13-10. Emmitt Smith, 186 total yards. But the Giants have taken things over in the second half. And the crowd begins to chant defense. As John Madden said a minute ago, they appreciate defense. Here is Aikman back to throw. He gets it outside to Darrell Johnston. Johnston is stopped short of the first down. Clock will continue to run. Jesse Armstead and Meyer and Guyton over to make the stop.
Well, Lawrence Taylor on that play before made a big play. Then on this play, watch him here, Pat. He's going to come all the way in around here and get the pressure on Aikman back here. Watch him. He starts on that outside. Now you see him come to the inside, find the hole right there. See, and he made Aikman throw it before he wanted to.
This crowd and this game have revitalized number 56.
You know, you always say, do you have one more in you? Maybe he's been saving that one more for this last quarter because he's made a couple of big plays there.
The Giants have just taken their second timeout, so they only have one left.
Let's watch Lawrence Taylor again, starting here in the outside, faking 2-and-A, making him take that block, then coming right up the middle. Aikman could see him because he was coming right in his face. You know, this may or may not be his last year, but think of all the Giant games over the years that we've done, Pat, and I don't know that in my life that I've ever seen a more exciting defensive player than Lawrence Taylor.
When he was at his best, you had to make it your business to know where he was at all times.
You know, you could go on a practice field or something, you wouldn't have to say which one's Taylor. If you just walked out there, you could feel him.
Jet back to punt. Meggett standing back for the Giants at the 11. Jet's kick is a good one.
Taylor almost blocked it.
Yep. Meggett handled at about the 8, and he's cut down at the 11 by Brock Marion. So the Giants take over. 12-17 left.
He could have had the 60-foot sailboat, the house on the 18th green. But all Ned Crowley ever really wanted was a home on the range. At Dean Witter, our retirement plans are as individual as the people who dream them.
We measure success one investor at a time.
Well, boys, how do you like the new backyard?
My husband, the big football coach, well, sure he acts tough, but when he got the flu, I knew he felt it just like the rest of us. Body aches, fever, coughing. So I made sure that he got new Tylenol Flu.
Only new Tylenol Flu has maximum strength medicines and extra strength Tylenol brand pain reliever to fight even your worst flu symptoms.
Tylenol Flu really got him back on his feet.
Nothing fights the flu like new Tylenol Flu.
You know, he may be the coach on the field, but at home, I'm the team doctor.
We can offer you this kind of salary, Tim, because our law firm is so successful. There is also the country club membership.
National Football League is sponsored by Hyundai, cars that make sense. Dean Witter. Dean Witter measures success one investor at a time. Duracell batteries. No other battery lasts longer. And by Little Caesars Pizza, where you always get 2 great pizzas for 1 low price.
1st and 10 at the 11-yard line for the Giants. They trail by 3. Hampton and Bunch behind Sims. Hampton. Hit by Norton.
You remember they were taking Lawrence Taylor out, resting him a quarter here and there. Now he's not only rested in this game, Pat, but he's also on special teams. Watch him on that last punt. He almost blocked that thing. I mean, this play here, watch him, he comes to the outside, then he comes to the inside, and Jet just gets it off before he gets there.
Yeah, he's almost
blocked that.
He's almost the only guy rushing, and he almost blocked it. 2nd and 6. Intended for Pierce. Incomplete. He just dropped it.
Hey, Phil Sims is doing his part. Remember earlier, Pierce had that one, caught it, then he fumbled it. Now he throws a perfect pass to Pierce here. He dropped it. Earlier we saw that he threw a perfect pass to Mark Jackson, and he dropped it. Those drops are killing the Giants today.
8 out of 14 Sims in the second half, 2 of 5 in the first. No interceptions. 3rd and 6.
Haley, that's what you get for not practicing. You always had that bad back.
Number 94, defense, unabated toward the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
See, what they do is they usually, if the guys come, here's Charles Haley here. Usually if the defense jumps, they let the play go, and the offense has a free play. But if the guy goes unabated, that's a new word, unabated, that's kind of too big a word. That's like mayonnaise. I mean, that's the biggest word I know. But unabated, I guess, means if he goes unblocked, he's going to get a free shot at the quarterback. Then you blow the whistle, and that's what Jerry Markbreit, the referee, did.
Somehow I wouldn't associate unabated with mayonnaise, but it's a big word.
It's just a big word.
Yeah. Here's Sims. To Howard Tross has the Giant first down out to almost the 35. James Washington and Darren Smith made the stop.
I'll tell you, this second half, Pat, these Giants are attacking. You know, instead of running a 3rd down play and just running in there and maybe have to punt, they're going after it. I mean, they're coming back. Good pass protection. Boom, set up. Sims is crisp. He's sharp. He just zips that ball in there to Howard Cross. Hey, Phil Sims is throwing almost perfectly today.
Almost like they can feel it. The lead coming in their direction, and the flags go down everywhere.
I think that's going to be on Aaron Pierce again. Although one man can be in motion.
Number 61, offense. Prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Aaron Pierce was the guy in motion, which was legal. The penalty was called on Bob Cratch. Sometimes you have double signals. You have a signal to start your motion, and then once in a while the guards will jump off when you're trying to start your motion.
1st and 15 now. Here's Sims. And Sims is in the arms of Jim Jeffcoat. 13-10. 3rd Dallas sack.
Anytime Sims has had time he's been very effective. And the only time that he's really had problems is when they didn't get the protection. And most of the problem is coming from that left side. And it's been Jim Jeffcoat usually taking an inside move on Jumbo Elliott.
Second down. They need 21. And Sims will try. Sims again is down.
That was Jeffcoat again on Jumbo Elliott again. Elliott's back is just too bad. I mean, he just can't do it because Jeffcoat is just taking him. Watch, here's Jeffcoat. Here's Elliott here. He's just taking him and pushing him right into the backfield. Jim Jeffcoat's having a big game for the Cowboys here at the end. But see, Elliott has no power. And when he gets there, he just gets taken back. And Jeffcoat, gets that good quick rush, gets him stood up, and then just pushes him right into the quarterback.
Jeffcoat's a guy who's been at it a long time and still getting it done. 3rd and 25. Here is Sims. And now whistles blow. And a flag on the play. I'm not sure why yet.
And then another flag came in late, Pat.
Delay of game. Offense.
Too much time.
5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
This giant comeback, if you go back to turnovers and how important they are, began when that ball bounced off Kevin Williams. And the Giants recovered after the Cowboys had blocked a punt. It back to Meggett. Meggett gets back to the 35, tripped up there by Kevin Smith.
That was a heck of a play by Dave Meggett, though, Pat, even though it wasn't a first down. They had so far to go, but that was the same play where Meggett would come in and block the defensive end, and Sims was going to try and get outside the same play he had Hampton on. That time he blocked, then he saw Sims in trouble. He released, and Sims threw him the ball.
9:05 left to play. Horan back to punt it. Had one partially blocked earlier. Kevin Williams back deep for Dallas. Not a good kick by Horan. Williams handles this one. Ducks to the ground at the 35. Dallas will take over 1st and 10 after a 33-yard kick by Horan.
It's on. Changing the way you look at football and beer. But if you think you've seen everything, just wait. You haven't. Grab a ticket wherever you buy Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry. You could win $1 million. Bud Bowl 6. It's gonna blow you away.
Debbie, these shots are fabulous. Beautiful, Debbie.
Well, you can't turn it up much more than they've turned it up here. Cowboys 13, the Giants 10, but the playoffs start next week.
You're talking about guys playing hurt. Guys are really playing hurt today. You see Jumbo Elliott there trying to get his back loosened up. Emmett Smith in there with one shoulder.
That's Smith, the ball carrier, stopped by Michael Brooks. Another guy playing hurt.
Yeah, one of the things that they're really playing for this week is a week off. Of course, the team that wins not only has the home field advantage throughout the playoffs, but doesn't have to play next week. The team that loses is going to play at home against the Minnesota Vikings, but they play it next Sunday.
2nd and 7. Michael Irvin has not caught a pass here in the second half. Aikman to throw it. Gets it to Michael Irvin. That'll be enough for a Dallas first down at the 48. Let's again send you back to our studios for an NFL update.
All right, Pat, at the Silverdome, Eric Lynch, his second touchdown of the day from a yard out, has put Detroit back on top of Green Bay, 23-20 in the fourth. Meanwhile, the Miami Dolphins, they win. They're in the AFC playoff. They've tied New England 17 apiece. 12 minutes to play at Foxborough, Pat and John.
7.5 minutes left here.
You know, one way you get away from that too deep zone is run crossing patterns, and that's what they did to Michael Irvin there.
First and 10, Dallas. The handoff is to Emmitt Smith, and he hammers into Giant territory. Carlton Bailey made the stop.
You know, there's a certain intensity. You know, you talk about, you know, turning it up, and I think you have a level that they play in preseason, a level before Thanksgiving, a level after Thanksgiving, and a playoff level. Today, I think we're getting NFL playoff level football.
Emmitt Smith, 26 carries, 151 yards. Second half with a bad shoulder. Williams in motion, and Aikman to throw it. Outside to Smith. Behind the line by Mark Collins.
There's a guy that had a heck of a year. You know, you talk about Pro Bowl players and guys that didn't make the Pro Bowl. The Giants defense had an outstanding year, and probably the guy that had the best year of that defense is Mark Collins. He didn't make the Pro Bowl, and he and a lot of his teammates thought that he should have, because he's not only a good cover guy, he's a good tackler.
Here comes Emmitt Smith. Out again.
Watch Michael Irvin on this play.
Hello.
Always have to know where that linebacker is.
3rd and 11. Aikman pump fake. Aikman chased. Throws incomplete. For Harper. And the Cowboys will have to punt.
He was trying to get the ball deep to Michael Irvin, and Myron Guyton and Greg Jackson had him double teamed, and he couldn't do it, so he had to come off it. You see Irvin here? You see he's running to the outside. Irvin was back on this left side. That's Harper there that they threw the ball to.
Jet. Back to punt and make it back deep. Giants are coming after it and don't get there. High kick by Jet. Meggett gets away from it. It takes a little giant hop. And another giant hop, and the Cowboys down it. .5:35 left to play. Dallas has 2 timeouts left. The Giants only have 1. 13-10 Cowboys. Today's game was produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. The coordinating producer of the NFL today is Eric Mann, directed by Larry Cavallina. Senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Doran, and the executive in charge of production is Rick Gentile. 1st and 10 Giants. The ball's at their 17. They trail by a field goal, and Sims back to throw it. Got him.
You know, it's interesting that Chris Callaway, I think, has become Phil Simms' favorite target. He may have lost a little confidence in some of his other guys, but it looks like when he really needs something now, today, the guy that he's going to is Callaway.
He has 5 catches for 42 yards. 2nd and 1. Hampton behind Sims. Hampton gets the handoff and gets the first down to the 30. 77,430 in attendance today, the biggest crowd ever.
I heard that they were outside today. They were climbing the fences trying to get in here. They were trying to sneak in, come in the back door, back gates, over the gate, anywhere. Don't see any empty seats, and no one here is going to leave this one early either.
1st and 10. Mark Jackson has no catches in this half. Sims again to Hampton. Hampton whirls out to the 35, stopped by Ken Norton.
Rodney Hampton's running like a Pro Bowler now in this second half. He's not even worried about those blockers. You know, they have the traps and the guys coming across and stuff, and he's just taking that ball and just slamming it right up in there.
2nd and 5. Giants in a hurry. 4:12 left to play. Dallas ahead by a field goal. Hampton nudges ahead again. Tony Tolbert. The Giant Pro Bowl selections: Sims, Elliott, Oates. Jumbo Elliott's been playing with a bad back for about the last 2 months. Clock running now. Lawrence Taylor. He's brought it back to the old level today.
It's fun seeing him play that way.
3rd and 1. Hampton is the runner. And he gets the carry. And he gets the first down. With Casillas draped around him, they'll move the sticks.
You know, sometimes you see a guy that's just not going to be denied. And that's Rodney Hampton. I mean, watch him take the ball here and just run in there. He's just not going to be denied. I mean, if you have blocking good, there's pretty good blocking. They pick off Norton there. They just give him a little crease. But Rodney Hampton was not going to be stopped before he got that first down.
1st and 10 Giants at their own 43. Hampton is again behind Sims. And Sims will throw this time. Chris Callaway wide open, and Callaway gets to the Dallas 40.
You know, with a score 13-10, we know that this is a regular season game, so there's just one period of overtime, and there's just one little thing here that no one's talked about. If this game ends in a tie, the Cowboys win. And that's where, you know, they say the Giants didn't lose anything last week, losing to the Cardinals. That's what they lost. They have to win. They cannot tie. The Cowboys can tie.
If there is a tie, as you said, the Cowboys are the champion. This is Hampton to the 35. Hammering on first down. Over his left side, Darren Smith came up to make the stop.
This is football. Listen to this crowd. They're all standing up. Woo!
2 minutes left to play. Dallas leads by 3. At Giants Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. 2 minutes left to go. Dallas leading 13-10. The Giants and Cowboys both only have 1 timeout left. Dan Reeves, no matter what happens, what a job he's done.
Yeah, he and his staff this entire year coming in. George Young, the general manager. I mean, the job they have done of changing this team around has been outstanding.
2nd and 5. That's Pierce in motion. This is Rodney Hampton. Hampton upended at about the 33. Everett and Kevin Smith came up to make the stop.
That was a heck of a job by Thomas Everett, because watch 61 Cratch. He's going to come out here and pull. You see, you get him. He's going to come right there. Boom. He picks off his guy right there. Jared Bunch gets a lead there, but they didn't get Thomas Everett, who was coming in from that backside.
That makes it 3rd and 3. Washington, the safety man, the last man, made the stop.
I don't know what Rodney Hampton did at halftime or what they said to Rodney Hampton, but I'll guarantee you this is a different guy in the second half than was out here in the first half. Watch him hit that trap here. You see the man blocking, the center gets his man, Cratch gets his guy. I'll tell you, they did an outstanding job. They just took those 2 tackles the way they wanted to go. The center's right out there. Boom, he gets Norton. And a big play and a big hole for Rodney Hampton.
That's Thomas Everett. The injured Cowboy. Rodney Hampton only had 20-odd yards in the first half, 27, I believe. In the other championship game, Detroit 30-20 over Green Bay.
I Thomas Everett leaving the field. He was the guy that made that tackle. Now, again, the Giants have to be thinking here, taking time off the clock. There's 1 minute 9 seconds. They don't want the Cowboys to get the ball back again. They have to think of scoring a touchdown to win the game. But if they get to a 4th down, they still have to kick the field goal, even though that would give them a tie, because we do have an overtime period, 1 period of overtime.
1st down, Giants at the Dallas 23.
Jimmy Johnson didn't expect to be in this position. I don't think Dan Reeves did either. I didn't think either coach thought at the end of the 4th quarter, with 1 minute left, the score was going to be 13-10.
1 timeout left for both teams, 1 minute 9 on the clock. Hampton again. Down to about the 18. Stopped by Darren Smith. And Rodney Hampton up in a hurry.
You know, the scorekeeper, I think, Pat, was so excited he forgot to start the clock.
2nd and 7, the Giants in a hurry. Sims gives to Hampton and stays on his feet down to inside the 15. Stopped by Leon Lett. 38 seconds left, and Sims, I believe, takes the Giants' last timeout.
Well, you see William Roberts there pulled, and he missed a block, and then Rodney Hampton had to do it on his own. You know, they've had 11 plays in this drive, Pat, and Rodney Hampton has had 9 of them. They said if we're going to win the game on this drive, we're going to do it to Rodney Hampton. Those the other 2 plays were those 2 passes to Callaway. And I think that in this situation here, they're going to have to come up with a pass.
They have no timeouts left. Hampton just went over 100 yards on the day. Dallas has 1, the Giants none in the timeout category.
You know, the way they've been running, the way Hampton's been running, they may try and pop something up the middle again. There's number 59, Big Williams, Brian Williams. He made a heck of a block on that last play, big run by Hampton.
3rd and 2. Sims is going to throw it to Pierce. I don't think he got the 1st down.
They don't have any timeouts. They got to get lined up. They have to get their field goal team on the field.
They have time. Treadwell is already out there. He has made 1 from 29 yards. Down to 15 seconds. Just don't get into too big of a hurry. And now Dallas uses their last timeout.
I think that's an advantage to the Giants, because I never like to run out on the field and kick a field goal without your guys getting set. Not so much for your kicker or your holder, but the guy that has to snap, he wants to dry his hands. The guys that have to block, they kind of get their assignments down. The wings get down what they have to do. And so I think that Dallas taking that timeout, I think, was an advantage to the Giants here.
This will be from 31 yards for that man, David Treadwell, when the timeout is over. We were talking the other day. We haven't had an overtime game in so long. Looks like we've got one if David Treadwell can hit. It looks as if we'll have one.
You know, it's kind of fitting. I mean, you could see this coming.
Yep.
You know, that it was going to come down to the last game between the Giants and the Cowboys and what it all meant. And maybe it should come down to this.
Moran holding for David Treadwell. And Treadwell's kick is good. It's 13-13. How could a regular season end any better than this?
It couldn't. And this is football. I mean, this is, you know, not one team outmatched. These are 2 even teams. These are 2 teams that have played as hard as you can. 2 coaches that have coached as hard as you can. Guys that have left everything they had out on the field. One's going to play next week and one's not. You know, when we were talking to Jimmy Johnson last night, he said it would really be tough to lose this game and come back and win next week. He said he doesn't know if he would be able to get his guys up again. And you can see why. I mean,
oh, sure.
Both these teams have left everything they got, and the team that loses, I don't know that you can get it back in a week. See that shot of Phil Simms there, how cool he was?
So emotionally draining when you get yourself to a point like this and then lose. And then do you get back? Can you get back? Physically, maybe. Emotionally, I'm not sure.
But on the other hand, it could be the lift that could lift the winning team right to the Super Bowl. I mean, to play a tough game like this and win this game, you know, that may be the thing that the winning team needs.
Daloiso has the ball blow off the tee just as he arrived.
What would have you ever had that happen as a kicker where it would blow off? Now again, if you don't kick it, there's no kick. But if it starts to blow off and you hit it,
it's a kickoff.
I know. Watch that thing. I mean, just boom. See, before he gets there, so he can pull his leg back. After that happened once, then they have to get a holder up there for him.
Here comes Daloiso. A bouncer. Quickly with 6 seconds left by Lewis Tillman. Neither team with a timeout.
Of course, the clock stops here because of change of possession, so that means there's 6 seconds on the clock. The Cowboys are going to get one more play in regulation. Now, the only thing here we know is they can go for some big play, but the game cannot end, or this period cannot end on a defensive penalty.
They're just going to run it out and send it into overtime. So let's, John Madden, take a look at the rules in overtime.
Well, they have a coin toss now. Then there's only going to be one 15-minute period. Now, the teams use their timeouts already, but now they both get 2 more timeouts. And, of course, the first team to score wins the game. Now, if no one scores in that 15-minute period, of course, then the game ends in a tie. Now, if it ends in a tie, the Cowboys win.
The Cowboys would win the NFC East.
Yeah, the Cowboys in this period can play for a tie. The Giants have to play for the win.
Some facts about overtime. The teams that have won the toss have won 47% of the games. The teams that lost the toss, 46%. Let's listen. Jerry Markbright.
This is the head. This is the tail. Visitor will call the toss. Call it in the air. Tails is the call. It's heads. The Giants win the toss.
I'm surprised at those statistics we just had, that the team that won the toss in overtime doesn't win more often.
Everyone talks about that, but it's about 50-50.
Yep. 13-13, and we're headed for overtime.
What's in the bag? Lunch, quarter pound.
Mike Horan, all have been out warming up.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I think what Brad Daloiso is warming up, if it's going to be a long field goal, remember the Phoenix Cardinal game, Daloiso will be the guy to kick it. If it's a regular field goal, it would be David Treadwell. So in that brief overtime, in that brief timeout there, they were both warming up. Quarterbacks are warming up. Punters, guys are huddling up.
Cameramen are trying to get some reaction or whatever.
You talk about what makes adrenaline flow, and to me, it's always been finality.
The largest crowd at Giant Stadium in the history of this place, and they're all still here. They picked the right contest, didn't they?
If you're going to come to one, if you're going to climb over a fence and get a hole in your britches getting in, you better get a game like this.
And again, the ball blows off the tee.
We just set an NFL record, Pat, for balls that blowing off tees. But these soccer-style guys put them on differently, too. I mean, they got the thing sideways and upside down, and look, they got to get it perfectly and, you know, and tilted, and they got one white shoe, one black shoe, and the old days when you kicked it was a lot easier.
Oh, yeah. If the ball blew off the tee, the coach chewed you out. It wasn't the wind, it was you. Murray's kick goes to Megan at the goal line. And Megan is down at about the 18 by Joe Fishback. And so the Giants in overtime will have first crack.
Well, they started like this in the last drive to tie it up. Of course, the couple passes to Callaway, but the big thing was Rodney Hampton running with the ball. Michael Irvin over there, I think probably a little frustrated. Hasn't seen much action in the second half. And in the last half hour or so, the Cowboys haven't had the ball.
Well, you were talking about all those weapons they have, but they haven't been able to utilize those weapons.
That's the best way. Keep those weapons on the bench.
Phil Simms puts Jackson in motion. And he gives to Hampton, who has a collision behind the line of scrimmage and gets perhaps a yard. Tony Tolbert caused the collision.
Rodney Hampton doesn't look tired. You know, you look at him, I was looking to see, you wonder how much more he has in his tank, you know, because he came out in really that third and fourth quarter. I mean, he played a bundle. And you wonder, you know, how he's going to do in overtime. If you just look at him there, he doesn't look tired at all.
2nd and 9. There is Simms to Hampton. Rodney Hampton stayed on his feet. Dive for the first down marker is about a yard short. Hit by Darren Woodson.
But that's a different thing in this game. A different thing in this second half. You know, you don't see guys just running out of bounds. You know, or just I mean, they're stretching. They're trying to get the ball. They're trying to get another yard. Just everything you got. You know, if you got it in you, you got to give it now.
3rd and 1. You would expect Hampton. Maybe that's why you won't get him. Yes, you do. He gets a first down and more. Woodson up to make the hit. That offensive line of the Giants now doing an outstanding job.
And Darren Woodson is a good tackle. He's like a linebacker, but Rodney Hampton really finished off this run. Starts with a good double team, a good block in there, and then Hampton just finishes it off over Woodson. Look at that hole he has there. And he knows that he's going to put that licking on Woodson and get another yard and get that first down.
The Giants at their own 31. 13-10 left in overtime. Simms again to Rodney Hampton. Hampton up to the 35. Felt his way for about 3. Lett and Dixon Edwards on the stop.
You know, I think that, you know, Rodney Hampton didn't make the Pro Bowl. He had the knee injury. Remember, he had the surgery and he missed some games, but on this effort that he's at here, 30 rushes, 114 yards. The second half, I know one team he's going to make this year.
But he didn't play in that first game against the Cowboys. 2nd down. Cowboys showing blitz. Simms back to throw, and the ball comes loose. This one goes forward, however, and a flag on the play. Casillas hit Simms just as he let it go. This is going to be against the Giants, probably holding.
Now you could see the way Phil Simms threw his hands down, the way Jimmy Johnson threw his hands backwards. You know that it's against the Giants. You don't know what it is.
We have a personal foul, illegal chop block. Number 59, offense. 15-yard penalty. 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Brian Williams is 59.
An illegal chalk block is when a guy has a guy stood up and he's engaged with one blocker, and then you come in and chop him. Now, you can chop him, but you can't do it if he's engaged with another blocker. So what happened is he was engaged with the guard, and then Williams went to help him and chopped him.
So it's 2nd down and 22 make it. The Giants back at the 20-yard line. Meggett is split out wide left with McCaffrey. Here's the reverse to Meggett, who's going to throw it. Or start to, and now Meggett's going to take off. And Jim Jeffcoat got him around the ankle. Did you check the balloon that blew into that play just as it started?
I saw the balloon going right by, and I saw Meggett coming on a reverse, and he was trying to throw to Callaway. Here he comes here. Here's Callaway. That's the guy that they're trying to get to, but they didn't fool anyone.
And there goes the balloon.
Yeah, the balloon's right there in the middle. You see down here, see the good coverage down there. They covered Callaway right in here, so then Meggett had to run with the ball.
3rd and 16. Meggett was tripped up by Jeffcoat, and he was hurt, so Meggett has left.
And the balloon just went around across the goal line.
The balloon is going in to be x-rayed.
Tell you, Meggett, you see, his knee looked like he buckled under as he was being tackled.
Overtime, 13 all.
Interpretation of the original.
My dandruff shampoo is good.
Better try something else. Mine really works.
You'd better try something else, like Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it more than all leading brands. Selsun Blue. Doctor recommended #1.
You design toys for a living?
Oh, yeah.
As a pro, what batteries do you use?
Oh, Duracell batteries.
Any idea why they last so long?
Probably atomic power or something that is beyond comprehension.
I can see what makes you a success in your field.
Duracell. No other battery lasts longer.
Overtime at Giant Stadium, 13-13, Dallas and New York. 3rd down, about 16. Meggett is coming back into the game.
Yeah, watch what happened, Pat. Yeah, it looks like just as he goes down there, his foot gets caught and his knee kind of gets hyperextended. Whew.
Tripped up by Jeffcoat and another Cowboy.
These guys are so strong. It's just sometimes it's just amazing what their bodies can take. And when you get in a point like this, and a guy like Dave Meggett, who's a big 3rd down guy for the Giants, he's not going to miss 3rd down in overtime against the Cowboys for the championship.
3rd and 16. Everybody was onside that time. Here's Sims, and he's going to take off, and he's going to be downed at the 30. Darren Woodson with the clutch tackle.
Again, the thing that Phil Sims wants to do here in the shotgun is you would like to get a completion, but the thing you don't want to do is you see here, everyone is covered. There's no one open here. There's no one to throw it to, so you don't want to force something in there. So if you're not going to force it, the next best thing is run as far as you can, punt the ball, play defense.
Moran's kick. Kevin Williams just runs away from it, and it bounces down to about the 30. Whitmer downs it there, a 45-yard punt. Let's see if Emmitt Smith is in the game, and yes, indeed he is. Aikman just joined the huddle. 1st and 10 Cowboys at their own 25. Emmitt Smith has carried 26 times, 151 yards.
These fans are giving a standing ovation for their defense. They want their defense to come up now.
Aikman gives to Smith. Smith lunges underneath tacklers for about 3, and he's going at about, well, maybe half speed right now. Speed, yes, but his arm is really bothering him. Detroit will host. They win the NFC Central. Second and 8. Here's Aikman. Drops it to Smith. Stopped short of the first down by Corey Miller.
You know, Smith may only have one arm, but they're still going to him. They ran him to the right, and then they passed, and they threw the ball to him. Once I'm here, he's in the backfield, lined up behind the tackle. He just circles out and then comes in underneath. They hit that underneath pass again. That's one of their plans against that loose cover 2, is to hit the underneath pass.
Dallas will go with 3 wide receivers. And Novacek, 3rd and 2. Aikman will throw it. He gets it out to Emmitt Smith, and he'll have the Dallas first down out to the 30, out to the 44. Talk about your tough guys. There's one.
And then not only that, not only is he a tough guy, not only is he in there, but he's the go-to guy.
John, you know that Jimmy Johnson and the Cowboys are aware that a tie gives them the championship and the week off. Is there any point in their mind that they play for a tie?
Yeah, I mean, and the way they do that is they just don't rush anything. They just want to keep their time, move the ball, keep it away from the Giants.
Emmitt Smith again. Smith hit down at the 45-46, slowly gets up.
Although they would have a tough time running 9 minutes off of the clock without scoring. I think if they keep moving the ball and they keep doing that, that they're going to score before time's going to run out.
It'll bring up a 2nd and 8 situation. Now 8:40 left to play. Emmitt Smith down on the sideline. He is hurting. Lincoln Coleman has taken his place. And you know, they have said to him over and over, hang on to the ball if you get it. Aikman to Darrell Johnston. That's close to a first down.
That was a heck of a throw by Troy Aikman. That's probably why they're paying him $50 million. He was going to throw it to Lincoln Coleman out in the sideline, and he looked and he looked and he looked, and then he came back to Johnston. Watch, he's trying to hit 44 out there to the side. See him look there, and watch him turn back. Zip right in there to Darrell Johnston.
They'll move the sticks. First down. Enough on the completion. There was a penalty on the play. That was declined, and Dallas takes the first down. Aikman, 23 out of 29. Coleman is the deep back, and he gets the carry. Lincoln Coleman to about the 45. Bailey and Brooks. 8 minutes left down in overtime. 13-13, Cowboys and the Giants.
And Emmitt Smith is coming back in. You know the go-to guys have always been Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin. I think Michael Irvin's only caught 1 pass his second half, and again, part of it is that coverage that the Giants use, but you would think the other thing is they ought to try and get the ball to him because he's their other big playmaker. The number 1 big playmaker is Emmitt Smith, and he proved that today.
Here's Aikman to Emmitt Smith. Smith short of a first down by about a yard. And he gets up again in pain. Corey Miller made the stop.
Emmitt Smith ran what they call a choice route there. But if you watch the coverage, here's Michael Irvin out here. And now they're going to have bump him and then have the safety come over to this side. You see, and that's the reason they're throwing the underneath stuff. See, they got the bump, the safety coming over. They really got 2 guys watching him all the time. And that's why Aikman's taking the underneath.
Again on 3rd and short. They go with a short yardage formation. They give the ball to Smith, and Smith gets the first down. We're in overtime at Giant Stadium, 13-13. Dallas football at the Giant 35. Emmitt Smith was hurt earlier, his shoulder, right shoulder, but he's played with that pain, with the exception of a couple of plays. Dallas has a first down at the Giant 35 in overtime. 6:14 left to play. First and 10, Novacek was the man in motion. Here's Emmett Smith. Emmett Smith hammers inside the 25. Stopped by Guyton.
You know, I think, Pat, you know, of all the games we've done together over the years, I don't know that we've ever seen two running backs have a better day and a tougher day. I mean, look at Emmett Smith, 30 rushes, 168 yards. Rodney Hampton, 30 rushes, 114 yards. I mean, I don't know that I've ever, you know, we've seen one back have great days, but I don't know that we've ever seen, especially like these two guys have today.
Here's Smith again. Over the left side, Smith scored the only touchdown. That was on a pass reception.
Yeah, because in addition to what he's done on the ground, he's also caught 10 passes today for 60 yards, and like you said, the touchdown.
Eddie Murray loosening up on the sideline. Clock running now. It'll tick down to about 5 minutes before they run another play. 13-13. The end of the year, Detroit beat Green Bay, so they won the NFC Central. The winner here wins the NFC East. Smith breaks one tackle, gets to the 24. Jesse Campbell and Lawrence Taylor made the stop.
So when those people say that professional athletes are paid too much money and Emmitt Smith gets too much money and he's overpaid, got to get under those shoulder pads today and see who gets paid too much money. This is what great players get paid a lot of money for.
Somebody else is going to have to pick it up because he's going to be sore.
You talk about emptying your tank. We've seen Emmitt Smith empty his tank before, and he really emptied it today. They're in the reserve.
Third down. Dallas timeout. So they have one left in overtime, as do the Giants. With Jay Novacek to hold, Murray is 2 for 2 on the day, along with 38. This will be from 41.
You know, one of the advantages of going for it on third down, if anything bad happens, you still have the ball. The other advantage is the possibility of a fake, because if it doesn't work, you could still kick it again.
They go a long time. Timeout has been called by the Giants. Reeves, Dan Reeves yelling.
He was yelling for that timeout. He wanted to do it, and now he's bringing his whole team over there because I think they want to talk about that you know, if they kick the field goal and it's good, they're going to lose the game. But by the same token, they know it's third down, that you have to be alert. You have to be alert for the fake field goal. So do you go all out and try and block the field goal, or do you play it safe for the fake? And that's the advantage of going for it on third down.
Dan Reeves was saying to us about the work that a head coach and assistant coaches have to put in to be in the position that they're in. But he said there is no feeling of exhilaration like you get on Sunday afternoon.
I'll tell you, the high of the team that wins this game is going to be as high as you can get, and the low of the team that loses is going to be as low as you can get.
Murray's kick is high enough and long enough and right down the middle. From 41 yards out, Eddie Murray. With 4:16 left in overtime, Eddie Murray wins it for Dallas. And they're the NFC Eastern Division champions. And that picture, if you're a Giant, says it all. Not for him, but for the players. That one.
You know, it's one of those things at the end of a game like this, Pat, and you look at the guys and everything that they gave, you would like to say, that it's too bad that someone had to lose. And that's the way you feel. I mean, both these teams in this game gave everything they have. This was a professional football game.
This is as good as you'll see it.
Well, I mean, the emotion,
yep.
the crisp, the tackle, the hard hitting, guys gutting it up, giving everything they had.
Here at Giant Stadium, the final score then is Dallas 16, the Giants 13. Stay tuned for the NFL Today postgame show. Greg and Terry will have all the scores and highlights. You're watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.
Excuse me, can you stop and show me what kind of batteries you have in there?
Sure. Sure, sir.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, they last long.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah, positive.
Yeah, I got one other question for you.
Well, gotta go.
Why do they last so long?
Duracell. No other battery lasts longer.
Oxygen.
Strong. To win, you've got to be smart. Maybe you can be one of us, the few, the proud, the Marines.
It's never fun to eat and run, to rush and eat too fast, 'cause you know it's gonna catch up with you at last.
For acid indigestion or heartburn with headache, nothing's faster than Alka-Seltzer.
Get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
The best truck news of the year just got even better. Not only can you get the best lease ever on any new 1994 Ford F-Series, now you can get the lowest financing rate of the year, 2.9% on any 1993 or 1994 model Ford F-Series truck. So whether you buy or lease, you won't find a better offer than this. Your Ford dealer has a good selection of America's best-selling pickups, but don't wait. This offer ends January 3rd. So hurry to get the best of terms on America's best at your Ford dealer today.
Need a match? Call Matchmaker International right now.
Do something cute. You're just gonna sit there and grin?
Next time your friend insists on driving drunk, do whatever it takes to stop him.
And to those of you who have been watching Dallas and New York, we welcome you to the postgame as well. Greg Gumbel along with Terry Bradshaw. An outstanding football game at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey this afternoon. The Dallas Cowboys defeating the New York Giants by a score of 16-13 on Eddie Murray's overtime field goal. So now the Dallas Cowboys have clinched home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs, and the playoff picture now looks like this. The Cowboys and the 49ers will have some time off. Next week, the New York Giants will host the Minnesota Vikings in one wild card game. In the other wild card game, it'll be a rematch of Green Bay and Detroit. The Lions winning today. This game will be played at the Silverdome, as today's was. It'll be the Packers and the Lions. The first-round byes belong to the San Francisco 49ers and to the Dallas Cowboys, who, by virtue of their victory today over the Giants, have the home field advantage now throughout the entire playoffs in the NFC. And the Dallas Cowboys, I'm sure it helps them an awful lot to be able to go into Giant Stadium and win this game on the road.
It does, Greg. The real key here is you look at this game and you realize that the Giants took away Alvin Harper. He caught 2 touchdown passes the last time. Emmitt Smith they tried to take away but couldn't, because the one thing the Cowboys are always going to do is make adjustment in their blocking to get Emmitt free. The other thing is that the Cowboys champions always seem to find a way to win. And today, in a hostile environment coming in here with their weapons knocked down, Emmitt Smith injured, their defense rose to the occasion, their special teams almost cost them, but their running game and a good play, smart play, by Troy Aikman, the quarterback, really was the difference in the game today.
And don't you know the Cowboys will love to get that extra week's rest for running back Emmitt Smith, too. 16-13, the final score. Let's send you back out to Giant Stadium, where Leslie Visser is standing by with one of the heroic Cowboys. Leslie?
He is that, Greg, and as the players came off the field, they were yelling, "We're going home and we're staying home in Dallas." Congratulations to you, Troy. What was the difference today?
Well, you know, it's hard to say, to be quite honest with you. We jumped out on them early. We had some things go our way in the first half. The second half, defensively, they really picked it up, and we struggled a little bit. And then our defense was fortunate, was able to make some plays when they had to. And then Eddie Murray, you can't say enough about the job that he's done for us since he joined the team.
They did a good job on Michael Irvin, and Emmitt still was your go-to guy there at the end.
Well, they really play a defensive scheme where you're not able to get a whole lot of big plays up the field, and we knew that, and we took some shots. We were able to get a couple things and get Mike the ball on some things, but still, we knew we had to come in here and run the football and then try to be patient with our passing game and take the underneath stuff, and that's what we did, and we were able to keep the score down.
Would you not relish the fact of facing them again in a couple of weeks?
Well, you know, it's tough enough playing a team twice in a year, and if you play them a third time, it makes it extremely difficult. And right now, we're just fortunate that we have the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. We've got a bye next week, and that's all we can ask for, and then we'll see who we play.
Get some rest, see you in Dallas. Thank you, Troy. Congratulations. Back to you, Greg.
All right, Leslie, thanks very much. So the Dallas Cowboys will go home and stay there for the rest of the playoffs in the NFC. They beat the New York Giants today by a score of 16-13 in overtime. The other divisional championship decided today was at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, where the Detroit Lions knocked off the Green Bay Packers by a score of 30-20. Sterling Sharp, everybody's watching him. He set the record again, broke his own record for receptions from last year. Finished the regular season with 112 with that catch. And Brett Favre, this is when things were going well for Brett.
One of the few bright things today was this call. This is a screen pass, Greg. You like to run screens against zones. Here's Edgar Bennett on the screen, gets down. One of the few times that the Packers outguessed the Lions.
But Favre had interception problems again today.
4 interceptions, 17 points on 5 turnovers by Green Bay. You will not win any games when you do that.
Meanwhile, Eric Kramer continuing to perform well. This is an 8-yard touchdown pass to Rodney Holman. And then with time winding down, it was another pick against Favre.
Another pick, little play action, turns around, Brett gets some pressure. One thing young quarterbacks have to learn, you have to be patient in big football games. You cannot force things. Brett Favre has one big habit, and that is he forces too many things, 24 interceptions this year alone. Hats off also. I'm going to go back over to the Lions again, Greg. Coming into this game, the Packers had 33 sacks in the last 9 games, and the offensive line today of the Lions, big old goose egg, no sacks.
You know what we've seen in the last couple of weeks is we've seen a Detroit Lion team gain some confidence, especially with Eric Kramer at quarterback, and as you say, the defense has stepped up a notch too.
Eric Kramer won't make a lot of mistakes. Not a strong-arm guy, but he makes good, smart decisions. They revamped the offense a little bit, more 3 wide receivers. He knows that offense, he likes it, and he'll stay in there and he'll make good decisions. He's very much like Troy Aikman, in that he'll make the right decisions. He'll take a 2-yard pass rather than try to force a 10 or 12-yarder. He'll take what defenses give them, and that is the real key, I think, to the offense of the Lions. Key here is they've got to stay with it and keep it going and don't turn their back on Eric Kramer if he should have a bad quarter or a bad half.
All right, Terry, 30-20 was the final score at the Silverdome. Now, elsewhere at the Hoosier Dome, the Buffalo Bills beat the Colts by a score of 30-10, and in so doing, they claimed home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. Ted Marchibroda looking on. Thurman Thomas will fumble into the end zone. Bills lose an opportunity here because Jason Belzer of the Colts recovers. But then, at the other end of the field, same thing happens. Rodney Culver fumbles, and Henry Jones will track it down over there. And there goes an Indianapolis chance, but Thurman Thomas does get one.
Thomas coming off left side, very much like Emmitt Smith. He has the ability to go left, right, or up the middle. Good decision.
And then Jim Kelly, 1-yard touchdown pass to Pete Metzelaars. Buffalo, a team that has gained some momentum in the latter part of this season. They finished the year 12-4, and it really doesn't feel like the Bills have had that good a season.
You know, the Bills are an amazing team. You talk about resilient. They have really overcome so many adversities. Their offense has not been as consistent. They're not as high-powered, but you know what, Greg? They're doing it right. They're playing better defense, and they're getting a good, solid running game, you know, not putting 55 points on the board. But I think this is the kind of team, this is how you win in the National Football League. You win with good running game, you get a better defense, and you have smart quarterbacks and receivers, and the Bills have all of that. I know folks are going, don't say it, don't tell me they're going to be back. But it looks like now Buffalo has the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Come on, Houston.
Yeah, they do. Meanwhile, take a look at what's happening at Foxborough. Bill Parcells and the Patriots giving the Miami Dolphins all they can handle. This game is tied in overtime. Pete Stoyanovich kicked a 24-yard field goal with 6 seconds left to send this game into overtime. How big is this for Miami? A win or a tie, and they are in the AFC playoffs. If they should lose, they'd need some help in order to make it. But the New England Patriots are fighting the Dolphins now. They're in overtime, and they are tied at 27. So the AFC playoff picture as it stands right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the teams that's still very much alive in the picture as well. They beat the Cleveland Browns today 16-9. Bill Cowher, a little disagreement on the sideline, but Vinny Testaverde gets stripped of the ball here by Levon Kirkland, and Joel Steed of the Steelers recovers. And then it was Neil O'Donnell's turn for the heroics.
Neil O'Donnell had a fine day, broke a whole bunch of records I thought I could keep for a while. There's one to Eric Green.
So here's what happens. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they earn a wild card with a win and losses by a couple of other teams. These are the teams that are in the AFC. Buffalo in the East, Houston in the Central, Kansas City, champions of the West, and the Denver Broncos. Those are the teams that are in. There are other teams still alive, the Raiders and Miami. All they need to do is win, and they're in. The New York Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers, they need a win, and they also need some help. Pittsburgh will earn a wild card win with their victory if 2 of 3 teams lose, the Raiders, the Dolphins, the New York Jets. We'll take a timeout here. We will continue with more of the post-game show as the playoff battle continues in the National Football League. Stay tuned.
Search. Search. What is it, boy?
Hey, I think we got something over here.
Good dog.
Everybody thinks programming a VCR is so incredibly complicated. Record Channel 3, Sunday, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. What's the problem?
Magnavox, the only VCR with Smart Talk remote. Smart, very smart.
Who makes the only TV with the smart sound feature, which ensures your volume will stay at normal levels, even when something like this comes on?
Magnavox, smart, very smart.
Yes! No use shouting, old man.
Your world is about to become a little smaller. Those important to you a whole lot closer. Because now, across the U.S. and Canada, leading cellular communication companies have come together to create the most extensive cellular service ever. So now, staying in touch is as simple as a phone call.
Hello? I've been waiting for your call.
Introducing Mobile Link. To order service, call 1-800-995-4000.
Think of all this as a large block of ice. Think of this as a chip off the old block. Coors Light's aged ice cold. So when you think of ice, think of the silver bullet. The only way to chill.
Don't say it.
Sexual harassment.
Don't write it.
You're a racist, and it's that simple.
Don't even joke about it.
It's nutsy.
It can cost you plenty if you use the wrong words.
That was the phrase that got me in trouble.
Politically Correct, an all-new 48 Hours Wednesday.
Welcome back, everyone. We remind you, coming up next on CBS Sports, the Visa Champions Cup from Deer Valley, Utah. You'll see such a parade of former Olympic alpine skiing medalists and World Cup champions, including Franz Klammer, Billy Kidd, Tamara McKinney, and Franz Weber. That is next here on CBS. at New England. The Patriots and the Dolphins tied in overtime. The Dolphins have just intercepted Drew Bledsoe of the Patriots. A win or a tie puts the Miami Dolphins into the postseason. The Kansas City Chiefs beat Seattle today by a score of 34-24. In Atlanta, Phoenix beat the Falcons by a score of 27-10. The Rams lead the Bears 3-0 in the first quarter. Denver leads the Raiders 10-0. That's also a first quarter score. For Terry, for all of us here at CBS Sports, see you later.
The Seton Hall Pirates try to topple Glenn Robinson and the Purdue Boilermakers next Sunday on CBS.